Get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. 203. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Your Blues are making some moves today. They have made a pair of trades with multiple teams in order to improve, likely their third and their fourth lines,
Yeah.
Jamie, I'm assuming. So the Blues acquired Radek, Faksa from the Dallas Stars.
Close.
Radek.
Faksa.
Radek Faksa. And I'm just going to go with the American version of this next name in Mathieu Joseph.
Yeah. Quality. Good job.
It's actually pronounced
Mathieu Joseph.
There you go.
I was going to help you out with that.
Were you?
I'll let the Canadian do it, though.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, I appreciate it.
What's that have to do with being Canadian?
I think that was... He's from Canada. Jamie?
We French up there?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, speak it.
Exactly.
Jamie knows, what was it,
Mathieu
six?
Joseph.
6 languages?
Oui.
I know 2 fluently and 4 others that could get me in trouble.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. Yeah. So
nice for.
the
I know
deals...
the good ones, Carey.
The deals with the Stars and Senators, respectively, for future considerations. They also acquired a third-round pick.
What?
Yes, they got a third-round pick
Oh, they got a pick back?
in the deal for Mathieu Joseph from Ottawa.
Wow.
So they got Joseph from Ottawa plus a third-round draft pick in 2025 for future considerations.
Future considerations, Ed. Did I ever tell you about that when I made a trade, acquired a hotel room?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. It was a really nice casino in Denver.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah,
Go ahead, tell Carey.
I made a trade with the team in Denver, and I traded them a player that I no longer wanted for future considerations. And so about a week and a half before going out to Denver for a game, I called their GM and said, hey, remember the future considerations? I want you to get me a nice hotel room at the casino.
Unbelievable. They didn't call him the best GM in the league for nothing.
So I got a nice room at the hotel, even got dinner comped. It was awesome.
Nice.
There you go.
That player was no good anyway.
All right, Jamie. So make it make sense for us. What's the moves for?
So initial thought for me, I was puzzled because I'm like, why are you acquiring 2 more third and fourth line type players? Because you currently, without those guys, have about 8 guys that fall in that category. You got Texier, Sonny, Torpchenko, Kapanen, Walker, Alexandrov, Zach Dean, and you guys still have Mackenzie McEachern, who's on the second year of a one-way deal. Played most of the season last year in the American League, but he still is on a one-way deal. He's a depth player. And then you add Joseph and Faksa, and you're like, what do we... I don't know where we're headed here. But then the more I thought about it, the more I liked the deals. They are an upgrade over some of the guys you currently have. But the biggest thing for me is they bring some grit to the lineup. They're big guys. Faksa is 6'3", 215. He plays the game with an edge. He's hard to play against. Joseph, 6'1", 200 pounds. He also plays with a little bit of an edge to him. Neither guy are big goal scorers. Faksa's highest goal output was 17 goals in 2017, 2018. And Joseph was 13 goals in 2020, 2021. But I believe Joseph last year ended up with 11 goals, so close to his career high there. You're not bringing these guys in to solidify your power play. You're not. Radek Faksa and Mathieu Joseph are big bodies. They're an upgrade over what you currently have in some of your spots. Like if it's a Nikita Alexandrov or a Mathieu Joseph in a big game, you're probably leaning towards Mathieu Joseph. And some people say, well, then you're blocking Alexandrov from his development. Alexandrov spent most of the season as a healthy scratch last year. So we'll see what his role becomes ultimately with the team moving forward. Zach Dean, I think the Blues are high on him. I think he showed a lot of upside during his call-up at the end of the season last year, but you still can't say, oh, this is for sure our third-line center or our fourth-line guy, because he's still a small sample size. So I think it's good depth. It's nothing that's earth-shattering. If you're expecting a big major move, it hasn't happened yet. Let's just put it that way. But at least Army didn't give up anything for these guys. He acquired 2 veteran players. Radek Faksa, similar in contract and in size to Kevin Hayes. Much better skater, much more physical, probably provide a little more to your bottom six than Kevin Hayes was able to last year. So that's kind of the swap you made there. And Mathieu Joseph, he's 27. He's not in that category of being an older player. So maybe he's a guy that helps you bridge the next couple of years to be on your team while some of these young guys develop as well before you're trying to re-enter, cup territory type thing.
It feels like, again, we talked about rebuild versus retool. It feels like they're making moves, and it's just going to take some more time than Blues fans would probably want to hear. And maybe that hasn't been said, but these moves, as you said, are guys that have a little more grit to them. Mm-hmm. This team lacked that, I feel, other than Braden Shin, one guy that will punch you in the face, but not really a bunch of guys that would punch you in the face or be aggressive. So maybe this helps with that. And then, as you said, as those younger players come along, you got some veteran guys that are here that have a little bit of that grit, so they can just play and not worry about, the rough stuff and let those guys handle it.
Yeah, and look, these guys are not killers that just came in here, but they finish all their hits. Mm-hmm. They get in your face. They play a rough and tumble type game. Neither one of them is going to be a guy where you lay awake the night before worried about playing this guy the next day. Very few teams have those guys anymore. But again, they can get in on the forecheck. They can get in, cycle the puck. They're gonna play a game that I believe the Blues are trying to move towards. Is more of that puck possession, grind you down low, get in on the forecheck, big bodies. I like the moves, and I like you didn't give up anything at all.
I think ultimately people want to know, is this team, are they moving forward or are they moving backwards? Because they were a point out, or not a point, but they were a spot out from making the playoffs. And I don't, does this move from just looking at it, if you don't know these two players, it kind of seems like, they're taking a step back. Do you feel that way?
Well, if that's the case, then who out of the 9 or 10 guys that I mentioned are better than them? Clearly, head and shoulders.
No,
right?
And I'm not saying, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, but for that thought to ultimately be true is you have to have players that are head and shoulders better than these guys, that you feel like these guys are impeding their progress. Oscar Sundqvist, he's your fourth line center. With the injuries that he's had and all this, he's going to be your fourth line center. You can't expect much more from that. Torpchenko, neither of these guys is going to interfere with Torpchenko as far as the way he's playing. He's still going to play his regular shift, probably an increased role even with the Blues. Kapanen, these guys are better. So it's an upgrade. And you can go back, well, why did they sign Kapanen? Depth, who knows? Nathan Walker, like the way he plays. Are these guys an upgrade over Nathan Walker? Probably overall, just with their size and their physicality. Zach Dean's a question mark. Alexandrov, I'd like to think that these guys are an upgrade right now over what he presented last year. Ultimately, who knows? So that's kind of where I go with it. It still is an incremental upgrade, and you gave up nothing for it.
So why help a division rival?
The Dallas Stars?
Yeah. They
probably needed those cap space.
So why help them?
Well, it helps the Blues by they're getting a player to help what they need to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't really feel like they're helping the Stars. The Stars would have found somebody else to take him too. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Doug Armstrong looks at the Dallas Stars right now as that's our enemy. I think that Army made it clear at the beginning of last season he thought that the Stars and the Avs are the top of the division, and then it's everybody else.
These moves feel very Cardinal-esque.
Yeah.
Mo has a habit of looking at the roster and saying, where I could make the most headway? The bottom of the roster. If I can improve the bottom of the roster, then we can finish anywhere between second and dead last in the National League Central. And I think for the Blues, it just feels like with this move for Army is, hey, if I can just improve the bottom of the roster, I can finish anywhere from completely out of it again to about 1 to 2 games out of it. I understand where they're at right now. They're not going to make the moves that Nashville has made. I get that. They're not going to make even a big move because there's too much separation now from the top of the roster where they are to where they need to be. I look at this roster. I don't even know. And correct me if I'm wrong. Jamie, you obviously know way more than I do. I look at this roster. I don't even know if they've got a clear top line. Like they have a solid second line, a whole bunch of depth, and I like that they got a little nastier. That's great, especially here in the fast lane. We like to get nasty. They got a little bit better there. Down the road, the defense could be good, but right now you're just dealing with a whole bunch of contract mess. Like,
Yeah.
We got a text from the 314. Are they building a fifth line?
I think they're trying to build a fifth line. And maybe that's the plan, right? You shake things up a little bit. You don't play with a fifth line. You like to roll four lines in hockey. The Blues might be saying, let's roll five. We're going to build a fifth line.
Clear violation of the roster.
Correct. But within the rules, can we roll five?
I think this move helps your team. I really do. Does it move the needle? Here's the problem. I think that some Blues fans are expecting massive changes. Like, really want this retool to be over for the upcoming season. Like, why did we not do the Nashville thing type attitude? I get it.
You're not Nashville.
But when you're not Nashville and you're trying to just incrementally make your team better over the next couple of years while you're waiting for Dvorsky, Snuggerud, Lindstein, like when you're waiting for those guys to hit the league and make an impact, if you're trying to stay afloat and stay competitive, which the Blues are trying to do, it's moves like this that you're going to have to make. It helps your team just a little bit, and it makes you competitive, and it keeps the development going for the young guys.
How far away are Dvorsky and Snuggerud?
That's undetermined. So Snuggerud, he's at least a year away,
right?
Because he's elected to go back to college.
Right.
Dalibor Dvorsky looks really good at development camp, but again, that's development camp. It's kids his own age, in and around his own size and experience and whatnot.
So back half of next year, maybe.
Hopefully.
Okay.
And we'll see. Who knows? Like, maybe he comes out and has that, like, Robert Thomas kind of effect. When Thomas stayed here, he moved to the wing, found him a home, but he ended up being a real good contributor to the team.
Yeah.
And a big part of the cup run. So maybe Dvorsky's that kind of a player to where he's a center iceman, which would be really good.
What you need, right.
Be really good if he develops sooner than later.
Okay, so Army's buying himself time then.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
And
That's what Mo
he's
did.
keeping the team competitive.
That's what Mo did. Mo bought himself time because he knew that the
but
pitching.
Mo's never been in this rebuild. He's never said it.
No, but what I'm saying is, Team Kent's is a year and a half away.
Yep.
Graceffo at the start of this season was a year away. Some of these other, like the pitchers, were not ready. So what does he do? He buys himself time with
Kicks
Lance
the can
Lynn
down
and
the
Kyle
road
Gibson.
a little bit.
Yes, and of course Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray actually doesn't fall into that category to me. Sonny Gray was, we're going to need somebody at the top end of the rotation. This guy wants to be here. The cost is right, so you sign Sonny Gray. But Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, you're kicking the can down the road a little bit, buying yourself time until those young guys are ready. It's why you're not seeing Gordon Graceffo make starts.
Yeah.
It's Liberatore and it's Andre Palante. This is what these moves feel like to me. Those two guys that you just mentioned are not going to be ready next season.
Nope.
So we have to make moves for veteran players that will satisfy the roster, improve us a little bit from a year ago, and buy time.
So we're not finishing dead last.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is you're going through this process, and it can kind of suck at times.
Yeah.
But even though last year was a bit of a roller coaster, you weren't out of it till the last week of the season. Right. And Army's been very clear he wants the team to remain competitive. Define competitive means you're playing meaningful games at the end of the season. You're not out of it a month before the season's over.
Yeah.
And these guys, this kind of trade keeps you competitive while at the same time you're developing your young players in real time to take over in a year or two.
Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Cardinals play a little early tonight, which means we got a lineup already, so we'll play a lineup game next.
Hey, it's Carey, and it is July, and that means it's hot out there, or it will be. And if you're tired of paying the high utility bills every month because your AC keeps running and running, it's because your windows aren't energy efficient. If yours are builder grade or over 8 years old, the seals probably are broken and air is leaking out, and you're paying the price in high utility bills all year long. Window Nation's high-quality windows are built to last a lifetime right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free. There's no limit to how much you can save. Plus, you can save even more with 0 down and no interest or payments for 24 months. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and can be installed in 1 day or less. They even recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90Nation or go online at windownation.com. That's 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, 0 down, 0 interest or payments for 24 months. 866-90Nation or visit them online at windownation.com.
Time to play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Cardinals, Pirates tonight. Mitch Keller on the mound for Pittsburgh. He is a right-hander. Mitch Keller, a right-hander against Kyle Gibson. 5:40 start time tonight, boys. Are we ready?
Yeah, born ready.
Jamie?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Were you two born a winner and ready?
Yes.
Look at her. Yeah, of course he was.
Mason win, boys?
Yeah.
Show us.
Mason win. I represent him. I got to go first, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, thanks.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across it. That's awesome. But, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up!
I don't think it's a mystery here. You got to have Big Burley,
boy.
right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right-handed pitcher. Mm-hmm. Let's get that big old country boy Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
All right, Burleson. So we got our shortstop. We have our DH, possibly slash right fielder. Probably right fielder. Yep. Wilson Contreras here.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
DH.
No.
Catches mid. Check.
All right. Trying to fill out the positions here, two guys.
How do you feel? You got a frown on a look on your face like you smelled something bad.
Yeah.
The 4-hole?
And the 5-hole.
It doesn't smell.
They both smell nasty. How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, no, they both do. Yep.
Doesn't like the smell of it.
Yeah.
This is. Come on.
Both of these holes just don't work.
This is
for
your
me.
guy. This is 2022 MVP. Remember that?
Barely.
Barely. Yeah, not
you
really.
remember. You
Yeah.
remember. It was a good season. It was a great season for him.
CD, why don't you go ahead and go for it?
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
That's what I'm going to call him from here on out. The 2022 MVP. So you all remember. You know?
I appreciate the reminder,
how
Carey.
great of a player this young man.
Who
older
are you?
man
Where
is.
did you come from?
You know,
guy is.
we're excited.
Gets the Cardinal
they're going
day
against
off,
the
and now he's
Pittsburgh
ready to go.
Pirates.
Re-energized.
Yeah.
That really helped me. Like, if I get a day off to
You
not
needed it?
stress, oh yeah, I feel better.
Well, good.
Good sleep, no game.
I think they're 1-6 against the Pirates in their last 7.
Don't bother us with facts, Anthony, and numbers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They're either 1-6 against the Pirates in the last 7 or 1-6 at PNC. I can't remember, but it's not great.
Okay.
Not great. Okay, anyways. So,
I don't want to say this one.
You do it, Anthony. The 2022 third finisher in the MVP.
I don't think it's him.
Nah, sure it is. It's not. Who else is going to be?
You think it's Gorman?
No.
No. I can
Donnie.
see Matt
Donovan?
Carpenter. I can see Donovan.
Yeah.
I can see Donovan. I don't think it's Arenado.
No,
I don't.
he's not going back to the 6 hole.
Oh, I think he is.
I think so.
What do you think? Carey and I are
Gold
opposite here.
glove third baseman.
I think it's Donovan.
Drop says.
Donovan's been one of your better hitters.
Yeah. Who gets paid more? Paid to throw the cash out there. But he plays.
Just did it anyways.
I did.
So you think Donovan too?
I think
Oh,
Donovan.
you have at it. You guys go ahead.
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
I knew it the whole time.
Now I feel like it's.
I don't think Ollie's messing around anymore.
I hope so.
Like at some point you guys say, you know, I
Yeah, but he's still going to bat
gave you
this
a long,
guy.
gave you a long highway here.
Still gonna bat him
Sometimes you
now.
just got to
Long
say
road.
fast lane it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
Show us no.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here. Come on.
I will clap it up for Ollie if that's the way we're going to go. Just keep going.
All right, so by my count,
Yeah.
we need a second baseman,
Need a catcher.
a cat. No,
You got to catch her.
we got a catcher. We got a second
This is
baseman,
DHing
a
today.
center fielder, and a DH.
Your second baseman, you know who it is.
Gorman.
Yep.
But is he here?
Sure.
And who's the DH? Carpenter?
Oh,
Left-hander against Keller?
might be Carp.
I think it's Ciani, not in this order, but Ciani in center, Gorman at second, and Carpenter at DH.
You're going to have Gorman batting 8th.
Yes. I would rather
and
have
3
Gorman.
lefties.
Yeah, and with right-handed pitcher. Hell yeah.
Back to back to
Bring the
back.
lefties.
All right. You go with Matt
Let's
Carpenter.
go. Let's go.
What do
go
you
at
think?
it. Go. Just go.
Show us Matt Carpenter.
behalf of the
Yes.
veterans and new leadership.
Salsa, where's the salsa? No salsa.
Yes. Let's go.
So proud of you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are doing outstanding.
Doesn't feel like it, Carey, but
Nah,
thank
yeah,
you.
we
No,
are.
it's okay, Carey.
All right, MC
We're
there,
going to overlook
DH.
your nastiness right now.
Let's get nasty.
Go ahead. Keep it going. Anthony, come on.
got
Show us.
Running downhill. Here we go.
Nolan Gorman.
Get your popcorn ready.
All right, finish it.
Show us Michael Ciani.
Michael.
You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael Cera.
Got to be honest.
perfect game.
I've been doing this for a long time. Actually having the defense laid out initially, it helps. Yeah.
It's way better when you get that D laid out.
It is, isn't it?
And you know where you're going.
And you know where you're going.
That's right.
Yeah. You know where you want to go.
Yep.
You figure it out,
Which
then you
hole the
actually
guys are
do
going
go
in.
there.
And then
Yeah.
you know where you got to plug it in.
Yes.
Got to lay the
Exactly.
tracks,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. All right, Marsh, run it.
All right, leading off the shortstop, Mason Wynn, batting second in right field, Alec Burleson, batting third, catching Wilson Contreras. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, batting fifth in left field. field, Brendan Donovan. Batting third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting seventh, the DH, Matt Carpenter. Batting eighth, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. And batting ninth, center fielder, Michael Ciani.
Yes.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair!
Go fair, go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
All right, Marsh. What's our latest standings?
Yeah, nothing's really changed here. Although Jamie probably doesn't know this, but actually Anthony has 6 points. Last week, we shaved a few points off of his total.
Shaving?
No, not point shaving.
Point shaving. I was a part of a point shaving scandal. But on the other side, I was a victim.
Carey, you're last with 5 points. Anthony, you have 6. Jamie and I are still tied at 13.
Okay, so it's Marsh, right?
Jamie's up.
Jamie's up.
Oh, he always defers. He's such a nice young man.
He really is.
Alec Burleson, please. Thank you.
That was easy.
Yep. 2-pointer.
You know what? You guys were crapping all over Nolan Arenado today. Which makes sense. Give me Brendan Donovan.
I was going to go Donnybrook.
Me too.
You know, guys, Marsh is right. We've been way too harsh when it comes to Nolan Arenado. And I think tonight, out of anybody, it's got to be Wilson Contreras. Give me Wilson Contreras, please.
You guys are harsh. I don't know who I want because you guys took who. I don't have anybody. Give me Paul Goldschmidt, the 2022 MVP.
There you go. Nice job there, Carey. All right, tonight, 5:40, Cardinals versus Pirates. Kyle Gibson versus Mitch Keller. We will talk to our guy, Brad Thompson, at some point today as he gets ready to join. I'm assuming he's with Bally Sports in West tonight, but maybe he's not. Maybe he didn't make the trip. Either way, he'll join us.
It's a shame. It's a beautiful ballpark.
It really is.
I think he is there. He told me today that he will talk to us when he gets to the ballpark.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. Now, it could be his kid's ballpark, but you never know. All right, what's trending is next on 101 ESPN. If you need a new roof, if you have a damaged roof, if you have a leaky roof, if you don't know whether or not your roof is in good shape, call the Happy Roof Company. They're fantastic. The guys are excellent. They've been in business here for over 50 years. In fact, when they have, actually, I should say, over 50 years of combined experience in roofing, siding, and gutters. They don't chase storms. They're not one of these companies that go door to door after a storm and start saying, hey, you know, we just did your neighbor's roof. How about we do yours as well? And then you don't know if the warranty is going to be good. No, Happy Roof Company, they have been in St. Louis now for a long time, and 100% of their market is in St. Louis and the surrounding areas. A lot of contractors don't offer or install the high-grade shingles. In fact, they try to install the cheapest shingles possible. But you ask yourself, why are they not offering the Class 3 shingles? Happy Roof offers Class 3 impact-resistant shingles on all their estimates. So if you get an estimate from another company and they're not willing to offer you the Class 3 shingles, ask yourself why and ask yourself if you're going with the right roofing company. Most of the time, this can be included. The Class 3 shingles can be included in the insurance costs without any additional out-of-pocket out-of-pocket expense to you. And as I mentioned before, if you have a damaged roof, call the Happy Roof Company at 314-665-3001. You can also visit them, thehappyroof.com. But once you do, they will have somebody to look at your issue within 24 hours of when you call. The Happy Roof Company, tell them Stalter sent you.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We just got done playing the lineup game. The Cards will take on the Pirates tonight. Kyle Gibson going up against Mitch Keller. 5:40 first pitch. The Blues, they traded for Radek Faksa from Dallas and Mathieu Joseph from Ottawa. St. Louis also receives Ottawa's 2025 third-round pick, and both deals include future considerations. There has been breaking news that we will get into coming up next right here in What's Trending as it pertains to your St. Louis Blues. So stay tuned. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, breaking news. According to Jeremy Rutherford, the Blues announced a 6-year, $48 million, that's $8 million AAV, a deal with Pavel Buchnevich. 6 years, $8 million a year. What are your thoughts?
Booch. I like it. I didn't want this extension to come in at 7 or 8 years. Ideally, a 5-year deal would have been the best, but I guarantee this is the push and pull of negotiation. I bet you Pavel Buchnevich said, hey, listen, we'll help out here a little bit. I won't demand the 8 years, but you're going to make sure it's more than the 5 years that you're offering. And I don't know how it went on behind closed doors, but it seemed like a pretty amicable negotiation. Didn't hear about too much negativity going on. It seemed like Pavel Buchnevich wanted to remain a Blue, and the Blues wanted to keep him in a Blue Note. So then it was just a matter of fixing up the details. Look, Pavel Buchnevich was going to get $8 million. He might have gotten even more somewhere else. He may have gotten 7 or he couldn't have gotten 8 years because that's always the team that has your rights, but he could have gotten 7 years times 8 somewhere else probably, but he chose to stay here. So it tells me a couple things. One, Doug Armstrong is holding true to the fact that this is a retool. Because if it's a rebuild, there's no way you're throwing around this kind of money with a player. And two, Pavel Buchnevich and his camp had sat down with Alexander Steen and Doug Armstrong, and they wanted to hear the vision for this team before signing a long-term deal. So whatever was told to them behind closed doors was enough to make Pavel Buchnevich comfortable signing a 6-year extension, which kicks in after next year. So it's 7 more years of Pavel Buchnevich is what you got. That's a long commitment from an individual if he doesn't think the plan is correct.
Right.
So whatever Army's planning, ultimately long-term, Pavel Buchnevich is buying in and signed the extension. I like it a lot. I think the money's right where it needs to be. The term is right where it had to be to get this deal done. And you've got a great 200-foot player, well-respected in the locker room, a great guy, great teammate, power play, penalty kill. I like this move. I don't see the negative in this move.
Do you think that move, that contract extension came with him saying, I don't want to play center, though?
No.
Because
he's
better on the wing, but they needed him to play center. So do you think that conversation took place at all?
Yeah, I'm sure they talked about it. And I think that ultimately Pavel Buchnevich will play wherever he's needed to play. He probably did voice a little bit of discomfort playing center ice. He's not a huge fan of it, but he does whatever the team needs him to do. So we'll see ultimately where it ends up. Right now, the Blues have a lot of center icemen still available. They've got Thomas, they got Shen, they got Texier, Faksa can play center, Sonny can play center. So you do have other options to where you maybe don't have to force feed Pavel Buchnevich into that spot.
So I would love to hear from listeners on this, because this is kind of your big move, really. I don't foresee another move coming. Another big move coming. So how do you feel about kind of the collective offseason thus far? You made a couple of different trades. You brought back Kapanen. You re-signed Buchnevich. How do you feel overall? The other thing, is this your core? Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, Pavel Buchnevich. Because the contracts all kind of line up similar now. And is that core good enough? It's the same core a similar core at least, that over the last 2 years didn't make the playoffs. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I love Buchnevich. Like, just in a vacuum, the Buchnevich contract, I'm with you. Two-way player, somebody that's going to help out in all areas, who's going to get this contract and this money amount someplace else. I'm good with this. But if this is your core now, how do you feel about it?
I'd add Colton Parayko to his turn.
Colton Parayko. Okay. But you get my point about... Yep. So, in other words, if you don't make other moves, either this year, next year, next couple of years, and we have no idea, because you're going to start to free up some cap space for some of these contracts you can't move right now. But this to me is about now these younger guys. It is going to be about Neighbors. It's going to be about Dvorsky. It's going to be about, eventually, Jimmy Snuggerud. Because if you have that young group to match up with this current core group of players that are making all this money now, you have something. Mm-hmm. If not, we have seen this exact core not get it done over the last couple of years. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Andy Strickland tweets out, Pavel Buchnevich agrees to 6-year extension. Goes on to say full no move this season plus first 4 years modified no move in the last 2 seasons. Why do that now and not 4 years ago.
Because you learned your lesson. Bottom line. You change. You had to. You made a big mistake the last time, and you're not going to do it this time. And Army structures this the right way. He gives the player the full no move first couple of years, then the modified no move. All that means is, select group of teams that he would do or go to or whatnot. It's actually very smart by Doug Armstrong. I can't believe Pavel Buchnevich didn't push for full no move for the full deal, probably knowing Army wouldn't give it to him. But now Doug Armstrong is bending too with the times, and now he's giving a version of what some other players wanted in the past, while still securing Pavel Buchnevich, making him feel secure that he's not going anywhere, at least for the next couple of years.
That's a good thought. Yeah, made a mistake.
Yeah.
And what do you do? You got to be stubborn about it?
It
happens, yes. All right, so leave us a mic drop. What do you think now about the offseason moves? I mean, if you're going to compare it to Nashville or compare it to some of these other teams that are making, significant signing and deals, then you're going to be disappointed. I get that. But leave us a mic drop. What do you think now of Buchnevich is kind of you freed up this cap space. You had some cap space, and now you're spending it on a player that you know very well.
According to the text line, they got us, right? Andy Strickland sent out a correction. It is a no trade, not a no move.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, there you go then. Army stays firm. But Army did give, he did hand out a no move to somebody. I forget. He had a modified no movement. I forget now. I'd have to go perusing through the interwebs here.
I forget who got the deals.
That's what I'm talking about. He's not on the roster now. Actually, I'm thinking of part of the Petro thing. He had a modified thing with Petro, but there's nothing to be modified on that one. Petro said no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Petro did move.
He did.
Unfortunately.
On his own accord.
Yeah, yep. All right. We'll let your mic drops kind of trickle in. We will get back to this at the top of the hour. Again, if you're just joining us, Pavel Buchnevich has signed a new contract with the Blues. It's going to keep him here for the next 6 years beyond this next season. So 7 years total. 6 years, $48 million contract extension. Again, he still has 1 year left on his current contract. So we'll get to more of this at the top of the hour, but we'll transition to the Cardinals for a little bit. Are the Cardinals about to have another depth problem? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Stella Artois is partnering with Hot Ones to bring hot wings and hot trivia questions to St. Louis. Sign up now to compete in the next Hot Ones event at the Hot Shots in Wentzville on July 11th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Your host this time will be none other than Scott Rizzuto from the Rizzuto Show over there on 105.7 The Point. You'll be doing a Hot Ones trivia for your chance at an awesome staycation to be given to the winner at the grand finale, which will be on August 8th. To sign up and compete, visit Cyberg's or Hot Shots locations. They've got these great little cards on the table, little QR code to scan that, sign up, and you'll have a blast doing it. And if you don't want to compete, don't worry about it. Just come out, support, watch the festivities, plus enjoy some free Stella samplings and your chance at attendance prizes. So please stop by, sign up. You will have a great time. Again, don't forget about the next one at Hot Shots in Wentzville on July 11th, 6 to 8 p.m. with our guy, Scott Rizzuto. Going to be a lot of fun out there. So please join everyone with Hot Ones and Stella Artois.
Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We will have our guy Brad Thompson at the top of the hour. He got to PNC Park. Cardinals, Pirates tonight. And we're joined each and every Wednesday by Brad Thompson. So, again, we'll talk to BT at the top of the hour. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Keep those mic drops coming in about the Blues. We know now that Pavel Buchnevich got himself a contract extension. It's going to be for 6 years. He's got 1 year left on his deal right now. 6 years, $48 million. And we wanted to know from you, how are you liking the offseason? What's up, Carey?
No, I'm listening.
Oh.
No, I gave a gesture as though I was ready to speak, but I was letting you finish. But
that's very polite of you.
Yeah, thanks,
he drives the show, Jamie. I don't know if you know that.
If you don't let him finish, he gets pretty angry.
I mean, when we are in the back, the things he says to us in the office, in the back.
Yeah.
The things he says to us off air is like, whew.
It's somewhat.
It's harsh, right?
Yeah.
But it's honest. So.
Is it, though?
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes
honest.
It's a little over the top, but that's okay.
I just want what's best for you guys, and I want you guys to be at your best. Marsh, Can you cut the mics for a second here? Hey, don't bring this crap on air. I've told you this.
Carey, I warned you when you joined this show.
Job, Carey.
Sorry. This guy gets all angry and his chest hair flares up, and you got to watch out.
It's despicable, Jamie. Despicable. Go ahead, Marsh. Turn the mics back on. There, thank you. All right, Cardinals. So they have a depth problem again. We're seeing, obviously, with the injuries and everything that's popping up, you don't know how long Tommy Edman's going to be out. Lars Nootbaar is still making his way back. But you got Wilson Contreras back. Then you lost, of course, Ivan Herrera. When it comes to the depth of a team, Steven Matt's obviously been out for a while. You can only do so much. And in baseball, if you don't have that depth, the depth in the minor leagues, it's going to be difficult. It's not like you can store a whole bunch of Hall of Famers on your bench. They would be in the lineup.
Yeah.
So Mo went the route this time of adding veteran guys. Brandon Crawford, Matt Carpenter, whoever. But when it comes to losing a handful, you have cluster injuries, especially one spot like they had in the outfield. There's only so much you can do. So until you get back Edman and Nootbaar, I actually think you've done pretty well in the outfield. Brendan Donovan had a great June. Mm-hmm. Alec Burleson, for all intents and purposes, has been a revelation for you, especially in light of the struggles or the underachieving or underperforming from Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. So I think those guys have played pretty well. I think the Cardinals, for the most part, have overcome their injuries, including the Steven Matz deal. Who's Steven Matz again? It's your fifth starter. Libertar has given you, a couple of good starts, a couple of shaky ones. Andre Palante has been up and down, but it's typically what you see out of a fifth starter anyways.
Right.
Do you guys see a major depth problem for the Cardinals?
Not really. No, I don't see it. I mean, I guess if Michael Ciani wasn't able to play as well as he has this year.
It's another guy, sure.
If Alec Burleson didn't take steps in the right direction in the outfield, if Donovan's not available, then you've got a massive depth problem there. But because of it, now you've almost got too many guys. We talked about it just last week, about once everybody starts to get healthy, you don't have room for everybody.
So that's the conversation then, right? So who do you think it will be the odd man out?
At first, I thought the automatic was Ciani, just because, but now he's swinging the bat pretty good. In fact, very good in the last couple of weeks. His defense is Gold Glove worthy, like the best in all of baseball. How do you send that guy back down?
Right.
I don't know. In Burley, you don't want to take that bat out of the lineup. You don't want to take Donnie's bat out of the lineup.
Right.
Nor do you want to take Donnie's versatility out of the lineup. So where does Newt and Edman plug in at this point? If Nolan Gorman continues to whiff the way he is,
Edman's back at second.
Tommy Edman back at second base.
Yeah.
I could totally see that move happening. But if Gorman goes on one of his runs where he's got 10 home runs in a month again, then all of a sudden you've got a major roster problem. And I don't know how you fix it. Maybe you DFA Crawford, because now you got Edman and Donovan who are backup shortstops that you can plug those guys in if necessary. It's going to take some working, And I love that people I say, well, in baseball, in sports, these things tend to work themselves out. They will eventually. But if they all become healthy at the same time, you have no choice but to make moves that you maybe don't want to make.
Well, I don't think they have a depth problem. I don't think they have a talent problem. There's a bit of a performance problem from a few guys. And we were talking about Nolan Gorman. He is, the next spot is 9. And then the next spot is sitting down and watching the game because he's gone from, 3rd, 4th, 5th in the lineup, 6th, 7th. Now he's batting 8th today. Like, the next step is going to be watching the game if you don't figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue like with the depth, like you said, because everyone's not healthy right now, and chances are in sports everyone is not always healthy at the same time. And if they are, that's a great problem to have because now you can pick your best 9 out of the entire group. Go with the best 9. If you're not one of those top 9, you're not performing well, whether it's in the field or at the plate, then you don't get to play that day.
Right.
And that's the nature of professional sports. It's about what you have done for me lately, not what I expect you to do, not what you did last year, not what you've done over the body of your career. What are you doing now?
2021.
That 2020, yeah, that's fine.
22.
22, he was the MVP. That matters.
Doesn't count anymore.
Nah, okay.
It's over, Carey.
You might be
just
right.
said it yourself.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah.
But, I think you find your best 9, and both in the field and at the plate, and those guys get to play. And if you're not one of those guys, it's on you. This is an individual sport. Like, part of it is individualized. All sports are. Your performance matters no matter what sport you're playing. And if you're not doing a good enough job, you don't get to continue to have that job or play in that role every single day.
We'll continue our Cardinals conversation next with the World Series champion, Brad Thompson, here on 101 ESPN. Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They have their hail sale. It's been extended for a limited time, so you can enjoy massive price discounts with no payments for 3 months and no down payment available on select new and used inventory. And it all goes right now throughout the month of July at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. All current Nissan specials and incentives are eligible for any hail-affected new Nissan. You could stack up the discounts and save thousands in the process. With over 700 vehicles all in one location, you're bound to find the perfect car that fits your needs and your budget. So you're looking at cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, Rogues, Pathfinders. They got them all at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. And with their hail sale going on, that extension, you're going to love all the discounts on top of it. As always, 30-day new car return promise, complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum.
time for some high heat with BT on 101 ESPN. Inside and high.
Powered by Scott Lee Heating Company, your preferred Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor. Visit ScottLeeHeating.com.
There's no excuse for Thompson throwing at the head of right.
Our weekly chat with Brad Thompson here on 101 ESPN. Normally you get a chance to talk to him on a Wednesday. Bumped him up today as the Cardinals take on the Pirates, and he joins us right now via the 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. What's up, BT?
What is going on, fellas? I'm just sitting here at beautiful PNC Park overlooking downtown. It's Anthony, this is one of my favorite ballparks to be at, so life is good.
Not your favorite ballpark to get in trouble with the security guard, so that's still now American Family Field. Used to be Miller Park, correct?
One time you jump over and you go down the slide. That Bernie goes down, and all of a sudden you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Look, it was easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I don't blame you, BT. I don't blame you at all. Now, before we dive into the Cardinals, BT, I know you're a huge Blues fan. Pavel Buchnevich got himself a contract extension. Your thoughts?
Look, I've been a big Booch guy since day one. Told you guys right off the bat, and Jamie pushed back on me a lot. He said, look, he's your most talented all-around player. And lo and behold, here it is. So, look, this is a smart move by the Blues to be able to lock him up, and I think it keeps your culture around. I think it's a very smart thing to do, even though Jamie disagreed for a while. I think that he has come to his senses over the last couple of years.
Well done, BT. You still got it.
I sure have, BT. I appreciate you straightening things out for me.
So Boots got an extension, huh? And Bradley Cardinal got fired. What was your take on that?
Yeah, well, you know what? Wow. When the boys ain't playing well in their boots on that pitch, Brad, you got to make some changes. And apparently they don't know where the hell the goal is. So, got to make some moves.
Here's the thing. This is America, okay? This is MLS. This ties BS. It's too much, all right? There was too many of them. I was a big fan of Bradley Cardinal. Anthony, we had him on the show right when he took on the job, and he was doing the whole blue-collar St. Louis thing, and it was awesome, and they were great last year. Consequences, though, I guess. Man, soccer's tough.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially for us Americans.
For sure. We don't get it.
Nope. All right, BT. Kyle Gibson tonight versus Mitch Keller. Gibby's been fantastic. I mean, everything the Cardinals have really asked for or thought they'd get and more when they signed him. What do you think Kyle Gibson not only brings to the field but also the clubhouse has been such an added benefit for this team?
Yeah, first of all, Kyle is, and you guys know, he's been on the show, and you guys know him. Like, he's one of the best people you're ever going to get an opportunity to meet. So, like, just having his presence in the clubhouse. This is a veteran guy that truly cares about his teammates. He also knows how to cut it up. He has fun, but he's just a great person to be able to bounce anything off of, always there to help everybody, super positive, like just love having him in the room. And then from an on-the-field standpoint, look, he's given you everything that you could possibly ask him to give you. Last time out for Kyle, he was off, right, against the Braves. He had 12 days off in between. Remember, his back grabbed at him about 20 minutes before first pitch in the Marlins game. And he just didn't appear as sharp last time. He said the ball felt good coming out of his hand, but he walked 5 last time. So I expect more of the same from Kyle because his 5 or 6 starts before that and he had an ERA right around 2. So he's just been consistent. And he's not like your prototypical strike thrower where it's like strike 1, strike 2, he's ahead. Oh, he works. Like he nibbles around the corners. He gets the opposition to expand, but he's got such good feel for his entire arsenal that he gets everybody out in front. So I think that this is going to be a nice matchup for him against a Pirates team who is free swinging. They're the second highest strikeout rate in the National League. I think that this is going to be a really good matchup for him.
Speaking of strikeouts, my guy Nolan Gorman, he's had a bit of a tough go here recently. He's red hot before that, then ice cold here in the last stretch of games. The strikeout rate is high as well. What are you seeing from Gorman right now that's different than what it was, 20 games ago?
Yeah, look, we knew that he was going to be a streaky guy anyhow. We got to the ballpark, Chip and I, a little bit ago, and he was out here hitting early on the field, like putting in the work. The kid is frustrated. I know he's had multiple conversations with everybody, like with the coaching staff, and sit down about the mental approach and the physical approach. Right now, like physically, what am I seeing from him? I'm seeing a front side that is pulling off the baseball. So I'm seeing his hip and his shoulder go right into the first base dugout as soon as he swings. Like as soon as he starts, everything kind of opens up. And then you're seeing that uppercut stroke. Now he's going to have that uppercut stroke. That's what he is. That's how he led the team in home runs a year ago. But right now I feel like he's just getting too far under everything, and his front side is flying. So it leaves him susceptible still to that fastball up in the zone, right? If you leave one middle in, he can crush that baseball. That's the one that he's going to end up putting in the Allegheny, hopefully tonight, batting eighth. Is if you make that mistake middle in to him, that's where he hurts you. But if you make your pitch right now, he is incredibly pitchable. And you're right, man, that strikeout rate, you look over, he's 5 for his last 73 with 35 strikeouts. That's hard to do over his last 21 games. So if he could get back, and I know that they're working on this, right, trying to fix the load, fix the bat path a little bit. He's never going to have the stroke of Lars Nootbaar, right, that covered the top of the strike zone with that flat level stroke. That's not him. But I think that there are some tweaks that can be had for him to level him out a little bit. And we've seen this before in the past for him, where you could tell that he was really trying to go the other direction, right? Let the ball travel and go the other way. Now, that doesn't mean you're always going to hit the ball to left field as a left-handed hitter, but it means if your thought process is there, then your right shoulder as a hitter and then your hip is going to stay on the baseball longer, and then you can still catch it out in front and pull the baseball. But those are the tweaks that he's going through. And, as a young player in any sport, you have some success early on. You do have to make some adjustments. And then you feel like you're swimming a little bit. And it's very fortunate right now for the Cardinals that they've figured out ways to win ball games without your three power guys doing power things. I mean, the Cardinals went 16-12 in June, guys, which is a big jump from a year ago. I don't know if you remember the abysmal 8-15 June that they had back in 2023, but it was a bit of a blur. But they're winning games right now without Gorman hitting for power and doing much in the month. I mean, he had a good road trip early on in the month, which was awesome. Goldie's not hitting for power. Arenado's not hitting for power. Yet they still figure out ways to claw out games. So we keep wondering, why did Cardinals play in all these tight games? Because the big guys aren't doing big things, Like that's the stressful part of these games to this point, is we're just past the midway point.
BT, are we looking at a position at a spot where maybe Nolan Gorman is not actually in the lineup? He's batting eighth tonight. You got some guys coming back that should be healthy here in the next couple of weeks. Is he running into a spot where he may not actually be playing?
Well, it could happen, absolutely. I mean, it's a fine line, right, Carey? You want to be able to put him out there and let him work through some things. But then you also want to be able to put your best team out there. Now, I don't think that there is a move that makes your team better in any real facet right now until Tommy Edman potentially comes back. And I don't know how far off he is. Hopefully in the next week, maybe we see him go off on a rehab. But then you have like a real decision to make. Do you put him at second base? He's going to cover more ground over there, and let Gorman try to work through some different things. Maybe it's DH here and there, or whatever that is. But at some point, you have to produce. So you could see that, or you could see some built-in off days where they're just work days for him to really tweak your swing. Because as you guys all know, at the highest level in any sport, it's not easy to work on things in a game, right? I mean, it's very difficult to do that. And then sometimes to put all the work in on tweaking a swing, you're taking a lot of hacks on a game day, which doesn't end up helping you. So, I could absolutely see that being a case. They don't want it to be. They want him in there. They want that threat in there. But, at some point you have to produce.
Brad Thompson joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. BT will be there for Bally Sports Midwest tonight at PNC Park in Pittsburgh as the Cardinals and Pirates open up a new series. BT, can you give us any sort of information on some of these injured guys? Steven Matz, he was transferred from the 15-day to the 60-day last week, but he's eligible to come off at any point. Tommy Edman, his injury status. Lars Nootbaar, anything that you can give us to set a timetable for these Cardinals coming back?
Yeah, I don't have one for Steven Matz. I'm not sure they have one for Steven Matz at this point. I did ask Ollie today about a few different guys. Riley O'Brien is one that I'm interested in because we know this back end of the bullpen has been taxed quite a bit. O'Brien, during the homestand, he threw a bullpen. He's set to throw another bullpen today. If that goes well, there's a potential of him maybe going out on a rehab assignment soon. Fingers crossed he doesn't feel anything, that the arm feels good, because, boy, would he be a much-needed boost to this bullpen. Not needed because they're struggling, but needed because you'd love another arm to be able to build in some rest for some of the other guys. Lars Nootbaar, as you guys know, he has been out rehabbing. And look, they're talking every single night after games as to how he's feeling. But Ollie has told him, hey, man, take your time, because when you come back, we need you ready to come in and produce, not necessarily feeling things out. So we could potentially see him in Washington, or we could see it go through the entire Washington trip and then see him when the Cardinals end up getting back home, whatever he's feeling good with rep-wise, to be able to jump in. And then the hope is maybe early next week that if all is progressing well with Tommy, then we see him go out on a rehab. So that's kind of where some of those guys are at. So you're right, within the next couple of weeks, this roster could look a lot different. And then all of a sudden, you've got some moving pieces. It'll be very interesting to see what your outfield mix looks like with Newt and potentially Tommy Edman back. How do you keep those innings in the outfield for Michael Ciani? Where do you put Donnie? Where do you put Burleson? But these are all great problems to potentially have.
BT, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate you. We'll talk a little bit about the men's national team losing last night. So we'll have you back on here in a couple of segments.
Oh, I mean, if you want to talk about an embarrassment, I'm in. Let me in. If you want to break down the boot stuff again a little bit later, too, I'll be available closer to game time.
Excellent. No problem. We'll call you back. Thanks, buddy.
All right, no problem. Told you so, Jamie.
You're always right, buddy.
See you, BT.
See you guys.
That's Brad Thompson, World Series champion here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Cardinals, Pirates tonight. Mitch Keller versus Kyle Gibson in the pitching matchup. It'll be a 5:40 first pitch from PNC Park. Game will be on Bally Sports Midwest, of course, with Chip Carey and our guy, Brad Thompson. We asked for your mic drops on the Blues following the contract extension for Pavel Buchnevich. How do you feel about this offseason now that you've got kind of a collective couple of trades today, couple of moves over the last couple of days, including the extension for Booch? We'll hear from you next on 101 ESPN.
If you're needing to visit a local pharmacy, let me help you out. Head over to the Medicine Shop in St. Charles. They are the best in the business. They have great representatives over there. They're going to answer all your questions and even give you suggestions when it comes to cold and flu season. Allergies, certainly, that's a big one. They're there to help you out, and they've helped me out tremendously when it comes to time to take care of my allergies. And fellas, if you are currently using ED meds, you're probably paying too much for those. Get over to the Medicine Shop in St. Charles. They are your destination for cheap ED meds. They've got a generic called Sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. Prescription is required. And if you take another medicine or any medicine on a regular basis, and for some reason you can't get to the pharmacy, don't worry. The Medicine Shop in St. Charles, they offer you free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. It's an amazing program. I take full advantage of it. I love it. And again, the customer service with that program is phenomenal. So please get in there and visit them in person. But if not, check out their new website at stcharles.medicineshop.com. That's stcharles.medicineshop.com.
This is Jay Delsing. My show Golf with Jay Delsing can be heard every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 right here on 101 ESPN. And as always, it's brought to you by Darty Business Solutions. Tune in for the latest from the PGA Tour, the LPGA Tour, our local golf scene, and much, much more. That's Golf with Jay Delsing, featuring the biggest names in golf every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on 101 ESPN.
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Personally, I like how this Blues offseason is going. People will complain that it's a retool or rebuild, or what the hell you want to call it. But then these are the same people that are trying to win a cup with the team we have right now and trying to sign all these big players and then complain when these guys are overpaid at the end of their contracts. You can't get everything you want all the time. Sometimes you have to rely on this development and take a hit for 2 years to your ego as a fan and just take a hit and let the team do its thing and develop over these next 2 years. And then after that, you can be happy again. So personally, this offseason is going great.
So as Donovan left us a mic drop, man, that's a really interesting way to put that. As a fan, sometimes you have to take the hit to the ego for a couple of years for everything to kind of work out for your team. And you rarely, like when the Blues won in 2019, you rarely look back and say, oh, yeah, there was some kind of painful growing pains there, but we got through it. And or even if you do, you say, oh, I got through the growing pains, and man, it was great. You let the guys develop this, that, and the other thing. But then that same offseason, that following offseason, you're like, why aren't they making moves? What are they doing? Because you as a fan, you want every single... we only look at one season. Doug Armstrong's job, John Mozeliak's job, any GM, any president, they've got a 3 to 5 year plan. It might not be your plan, might not be your favorite plan, but they have their own plan to build a competitive roster within 3 to 5 years. And competitive could mean different things. But as a fan, we look at one season at a time. Of course, we're not thinking about bridge years. We don't want to watch a bridge year. We want to watch our teams every night, and we want them to be competitive. We want them to be the best teams in the league, and we want them to win World Series and Stanley Cups every single year. But what Donovan says is very realistic here. It's very pragmatic. It's check your ego, understand that this is a bit of a bridge off season. The reason why they're not doing what Nashville's doing is because they're not in the same spot. But in 2 years, or maybe a year and a half, when these young guys start to really develop and come through, then Army can be a lot more aggressive than he is right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the key here to remember is unless you're going to go full rebuild and tank and be awful for an extended period of time, then you have to do it this way.
Yeah.
It totally has to be the non-sexy way of doing it. You can't make a big splash and go try to sign a big-name guy. Some of those guys won't come either. Like those unrestricted free agents, look at where you're at in your rebuild and be like, okay, you're going to give me the money that I want, but I don't know. I've got teams X, Y, and Z over here that are giving me pretty much the same, but they're going to be a contender in the next year or so.
Right.
So, like Chandler Stevenson, the Blues were definitely in on him until they saw the price tag.
Yeah.
And then that didn't make sense. When Chandler Stevens for 7 years? No, this is not exact. That's not the guy you want as your number 2 center 3 years from now, let alone 5 or 6 years from now.
Right.
So you have to be very cautious when you're Doug Armstrong, and you got to try and just move the needle just a little bit each and every time that you make a transaction. And I honestly still don't think he's done. I will die on this hill right now. Doug Armstrong twice has used the words offer sheet. And he's never done that publicly, ever. I've never heard him say, offer sheets are there. They're frowned upon sometimes, but sometimes they're not. Like, it's part of the doing business. Doug Armstrong just doesn't, for me, he doesn't just throw that out there casually. Now, is there a player that they can target and go after and successfully offer sheet and get them here? Maybe, maybe not. But you also have a lot of draft picks right now, too. You just got another third-round pick. And the cost of doing business for someone, let's say it's a Shane Pinto in Ottawa, because that's been a hot name coming out. He's a hell of a player. But I think it's a first and a third-round pick and a current roster guy. Like, if that's the case, you just picked up a third-round pick.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm happy with the way this is going right now. I think that doing it the way Army is doing it currently is probably the best way to do it. I know he'd like to try and make some changes on the back end, but again, he's handcuffed right now because those guys have full no-trade clauses, which he gave them, by the way, which it is what it is. Army knows that. So you've got to kind of live with that and try to keep improving this team while dealing with some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the GM's job, the president of hockey or baseball operations, to predict the future, to kind of see what the landscape is and where this team is going to go. So, I was talking to Marcia. You signed Buchnevich for another 6 years, and you got Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. Those three probably on the line together. And then hopefully you get Dalibor Dvorsky with Snuggerud and Neighbors flanking him. And so now, you have your veterans, you have your younger guys who are able to, as the years go on, those older guys get ushered out. Those younger guys become older guys. So that's kind of I think that's the plan. And then your third and fourth line are guys that are tough, hard-nosed, guys that are older but maybe willing to play in those roles and not need the amount of minutes that your superstar players, your first and second line guys need. And so it feels like that's the mindset and the mold what Army is trying to do. Make this team, solidify your core group of guys, but then start to usher in some of those younger dynamic players that you hope can become superstars and help your team win.
We get a good text here from 314. It says, I also think that Armstrong has pretty much put it on these players to start playing better as well.
So it's an interesting concept.
Well, I think it's
the players to play better.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you win, Anthony. I don't know.
What's that?
When your best players play their best, it's how you win. Championships, games.
I thought it was all about the coaching. 100% about the coaching.
No. The coaching matters in practice. Game time, there are adjustments to be made, but players got to play well. Right, Jamie?
Yeah. I'll look into it.
So my point in bringing that up is your core group of players, Thomas, Kyrou, Parayko, these guys have to all bring their A game. Pavel Buchnevich, he has to get back to being an 80-point or an 82-point player.
Yeah.
Not that he got a point a game, but hopefully he stays healthy.
Sure.
And so these guys now, the onus is starting to be put on some of the players as well, and especially on the back end. Doug Armstrong's looking at the top 4 defensemen that have the no-trade clauses. He's probably looking at them and say, listen, if you don't want people to talk about the no-trade clause that you have, or you don't want me to ask you to waive it, we need to play better. And I think that it's time for that to happen. I think the players last year, for the most part, having been around the team as much as I was, the players were wanting to move the ball forward. They weren't looking to be that team that was out of the playoffs a month and a half before the end of the season. And they played well. They were inconsistent. No secret there. The results show you they were inconsistent. But guys like Robert Thomas and Colton Parayko, you finally saw out of both of those players, like, okay, this is what it can look like. Mm-hmm. So now you can build around that. And all that was those players playing to their potential rather than not playing to their potential. Yeah. So that was a good sign for me. You see that, and now you can, if you're Doug Armstrong, you go, okay, I know where my 2 best guys are now as far as where their development is and where they rank. Now I can start building pieces around that.
Being consistent, too. Like, night in and night out, it's tough, it's hard. But in order to win, you got to be consistent. I think there are times where we were You might have been at the game, but we were talking about it. I'm like, I don't know which team is going to show up. It feels kind of like the Cardinals. I don't know which team is going to show up from night to night. When you're consistent and your best players play well, you usually win more games than you lose.
Very true. That's Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We're going to play Are You Sold next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you have an Are You Sold statement for us, send it there. We'll play it next here on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to replace those old, inefficient, nasty windows, get over to Window World, the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Window World windows are one of the 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They're also ranked number 1 in number of windows sold in the country by qualified remodeler magazines. How do they get these accolades? Well, they produce an extra strength glass that gives it a strength that you don't normally see in replacement windows. I had the honor of being over in the showroom and standing on a window thinking it was going to break. It didn't break, and that told me that I'm getting a really good window and also a very efficient window. So many windows, you can feel that heat leaking in the hot summers, or you can feel that cold in December or January. That means that there's money going out the door because those windows are not efficient. Window World windows are, and Window World also gives you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor. And right now, Window World offering 36 months same-as cash financing with approved credit. And it's pretty simple. All you have to do is give them a call. Tell them Jamie from 101 sent you in there. That number's 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or visit windowworldstlouis.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The St. Louis Blues president of hockey operations and general manager Doug Armstrong announced today the team has signed forward Pavel Buchnevich to a 6-year contract extension worth $48 million. That is $8 million AAV. The Blues also traded for Radek Faksa from Dallas and Mathieu from Ottawa. St. Louis receives Ottawa's 2025 third-round pick, and both deals include future considerations. The Cardinals take on the Pirates tonight. Kyle Gibson on the mound going up against Mitch Keller. First pitch is at 5:40. We talked earlier today with Brad Thompson. If you missed that interview or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Are You Sold coming up next. So if you have an Are You Sold statement you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Are You Sold coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time to play Are You Sold here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Marsh, what do you got for us?
All right, this first one comes from Justin. Are you sold that Nolan Arenado's body is breaking down on him?
No, I'm not sold on that. I agree with Carey, what you said yesterday. I think he was hurt last year. I think he had a back injury last year. Mm-hmm. The numbers aren't dreadful. The power numbers are down.
Right.
The power numbers stand out. And when you're hitting fourth or third or fifth even, and the power numbers are down, they really stand out.
Yeah.
Or when you're a multi-Gold Glove winner and making as much money as Nolan Arenado is, they're really going to stand up. But I don't think his body is necessarily breaking down. No, I'm not sold on that.
No, I'm not sold on that either. To me, his body looks out of sync. The mechanics aren't there.
Right.
But I don't think it's due to injury this year. I just think it's performance-based.
I agree.
It's the numbers, the power numbers, he's on pace for 13 home runs this year, which would be his lowest since his rookie year, and not counting 2020 COVID years. Like that, to me, it speaks volumes. And again, that's why I keep saying people talk about this team and, we're good. Unless those guys hit, it is not sustainable. And at some point, it will all unfold and just show up in the way that I think it will. Because if Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, and Nolan Gorman aren't hitting the ball out of the yard, driving it into gaps, you will not be able to continue to win games.
Yeah.
This next one comes from the 636. Are you sold on the Brady Tkachuk dream coming your way to an end with the Booch extension?
What?
The dream of Brady Tkachuk is
coming to an end.
Is it over?
It was over a long time ago.
In fact, there was no dream.
No?
The moment
the Atlanta dream, they play in the WNBA. Other than that, there's been no dream involving Brady Tkachuk in a Blues uniform.
I mean, maybe lots of dreams for us, but that's just us.
Yeah.
Once he signed that 8-year deal and they gave him the C to rebuild the franchise, that was pretty much over.
Tough. Yeah. The Blues to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
From the 314, are you sold that the Cardinals farm system has them set up for another golden age? P.S. Thank you for using my mic drop.
You're welcome.
The Cardinals farm system, you said? Mm-hmm. Golden age. No, I'm not sold on that.
You have no faith?
It's not that I don't have...
Sound like you don't have faith.
It's not like I don't have faith.
You don't believe.
But
doesn't believe, no faith, doesn't have a dream.
Please, all of those things, Marshall.
Where's Jordan Walker? You tearing up the league?
He's in the minors.
Okay.
All right. You got to look forward to something, Anthony.
Yeah. How'd he do? Finished dead last? He had a nice day. I'm kidding. Well, I mean, Jordan Walker's 22, so I'm not burying him. But my point is, as sarcastic and as rude as it may have been, is we don't know what they're going to be. I don't know if they have top end talents down in the farm system. I think Tink Hence could be a top-end pitcher for you. I don't know if guys like Graceffo or McGreevy, if those guys are going to step in and be twos.
What about Quinn Matthews?
I don't know.
He is playing in the futures game.
He is. I know that the outfielder, too, has had a really good year.
Chase Davis?
Yes. Chase
Davis. Jerpy? He's been on fire recently.
He's been really good as well. I don't know if these guys are like bona fide top end, best players in baseball prospect wise. Typically, out of 100, when you see these top 100 lists, the Cardinals have about 3 or 4, and the majority of them are 50 or 50 or higher or lower, I should say. This is not a farm system where it's like, man, they've got 4 out of the top 50 right now, or 3 in the top 25, like some of these other teams do. I think they could be good. A lot of their talent is up now and playing with them, but a golden age, I'm not there yet. I'm not sold. What about you guys?
No.
Golden age.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I don't see how you could say that. Because who are we considering? What is the can't miss? Even Jordan Walker, who was supposed to be, the next thing, he's still down there trying to figure out his game. So I don't know if I'm ready to sit here and say the golden age is coming, man.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Grant Francis Fan Club. Are you sold? Tyler Tucker will establish himself as an NHL regular this season.
I don't know where he's going to get the ice time. You've got Leddy, Krug, and now Perunovic that you just brought back again, and now they're talking about bringing in even another defenseman before all things are said and done. I thought Tyler Tucker finished the season the way he needed to. He was playing aggressive and physical and a lot more confident. He had a really great opportunity under Craig Berube at the start of last season to where, he was almost anointed to be in the lineup every night and didn't bring that consistent sandpaper. And he was playing a little unsure of himself, so much so they started taking him out of the lineup. And he was out of the lineup for an extended period of time. And that's never good, for sure. Now, he did finish strong, but I think he dug himself a little bit of a hole heading into this year's training camp. You got a lot of bodies right now in the back end of this team, and, he's going to have a really good training camp.
From the 636, are you sold on Mizzou being a legit college football playoff team this season?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get 12 teams in now.
Now, are you saying that the same way that I was saying, like the Walker stuff?
No, you get 12 teams in.
You being facetious?
Why wouldn't you say something positive?
That was positive. You get 12 teams in.
They're kind of sideswiped them.
The odds to get in are much greater now.
So you're just doubling down on it.
If it was 4, I would say hell no.
Okay. All right.
12?
What if it was...
Man, you got a chance.
What if it was 8?
12. I mean, Carey,
what if it was 8?
You got a chance. Double the chance than if it was 4, right?
Yeah. Math checks out.
Just didn't like the stink.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Yeah, they have a chance.
Yeah, I mean,
they beat Ohio State in the ball game last year, right?
Don't you do that.
They did.
Don't you do that.
What?
They did.
They did.
I know, but
Carey
doesn't count it.
What?
Go ahead, say it.
They beat them.
But
the best players weren't playing.
There it is.
They won.
Some of your players were out too.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Sure.
Yes, they are. I am sold. I am sold that they are a legit playoff contender next year.
Me too.
In fact, the expectation should be that Mizzou makes a playoff.
I just was telling you, Luther Burden, I was watching a mock draft earlier. They had him going 9th to the Carolina Panthers. Mm-hmm. He's a hell of a player. Now, he is. I'm not being facetious when I say that. I mean that. He is a hell of a football player.
You think Carolina's going to get the 9th pick?
No.
Not higher?
Probably.
That was a more surprising thing.
Yeah, they'll be top 5 again for
probably.
sure.
It might have been based off of a trade. I don't know.
Did they trade down?
Yeah, they traded down again with the Bears. Yeah, makes sense.
From the 314, are you sold that Mo is doing as good of a job and maybe better than Army? But because Army is so much better at communicating with the media and the fan base, more so than Mo, it seems like Army is doing a better job.
Jamie, your thoughts?
We just talked about
last
this.
half of that statement there.
Anthony and I were refilling our waters in the kitchen, and we literally talked about this, saying that the Blues resemble the Cardinals. And I said the only difference is that, and you were talking about bridging the gap.
Yeah.
Well, we got these guys like Joseph and Faksa that are coming in. Meanwhile, Mo had Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson.
Right.
But Mo didn't really communicate as to the why. He just said, well, we needed pitchers.
They wanted to be here.
And they wanted to be here. If Mo would have said, the plan is bringing in some veteran guys to try and right the ship a little bit. Last year was terrible for us. Bringing some familiar faces with Lance Lynn, a veteran guy like Kyle Gibson. We need a little time. Graceffo, McGreevy, Tink Hens, they're coming, but there could be a year, maybe 2 years down the road. So this is why we gave these contracts, the 1 year with the option year 2, so that we can get these young guys to be difference makers, but in the meantime, we're still competitive. Had Mo said it like that, rather than just saying, they're veterans and they wanted to be here.
Well, Jamie, the problem with that is it's a little too honest and
I know,
too
but
much information.
They asked.
I'm just telling you why.
They asked,
but I'm telling you why it didn't happen. Too much information. You're asking for too much, damn it.
Oh, sorry. I'm just outlining what
That's what Mo said.
I'm outlining what the damn problem was.
That's Mo. I'm telling you what he said. Don't ask for so much.
You're definitely not Mo talking like that, I'll tell you that.
TMI is what they call it.
Too much information.
Yeah.
Last one here from
kids call it.
From the 314. Are you sold this Blues retool/rebuild will lead to another cup appearance?
I mean, no, but that's what the hope is, right? That's why they're doing all this.
Wow.
What?
You just say yes. Who cares? Just say yes.
You just said be honest. I'm not. I got to be honest. No, I'm looking at a core of Pavel Buchnevich, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, and Colin Parayko, right? That core alone will not do it. I've got 2 years of information on that.
What makes you say
but
that?
you don't really, because you don't have the best versions of those guys.
Are they going to get the best versions now?
Well, last year you got the best versions of Robert Thomas so far.
Yeah.
His game continues to evolve. So in 2 years from now, what could Robert Thomas be ultimately? He could be like Sasha Barkov out there. Could be. And Colton Parayko, same thing could be said there. He's one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your problem? Do they need to have Dvorsky and Snuggerud and some of these guys hit? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But if the question is, are they going to be, in the Stanley Cup appearance soon? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If those guys come up and they play really well, you got a chance. You got the goaltending. Screw you, Anthony. Side-eyeing me.
I just like what you did there.
What?
You omitted some things.
Oh, that's hearsay.
Someone. We need a new Gauntlet contestant.
You don't know what I omitted.
Yeah, I do. It's not what, it's who. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service tax line. We do need a new Gauntlet contestant, so feel free to text in the word Gauntlet. Have an opportunity to take on Jamie in hockey, potentially.
Yeah, hockey's hot right now.
Yeah.
It is.
Nobody has taken on Marsh in, a month, Marsh?
I think I did the Gauntlet 2 times, or I think it was 4 times in 2 months and twice in the month of June.
That's crazy.
They stay away from you.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're all nice guys, and they know you are what you do to nice guys.
I got to bring up this text. From the 636, they just text Gauntlet, too. I feel like you're disqualified after I read your text.
Oh, no.
Jamie, it's always with the could-be's when talking about these guys. Okay, so hang on. Yesterday, everybody went crazy because you gave up a second-rounder to move Kevin Hayes, and now you're mad at me for talking about could-be players? A second-rounder, it could be nobody.
Right.
It's literally the same thing.
But that second rounder is different because that second rounder is going to turn into the
Mitch
second
Marner.
coming of Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
So
oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, moving along.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Did the Cardinals nail their succession plan for one specific player? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Give your bathroom a fresh look with help from Menards. Elger offers high-quality plumbing fixtures that you can count on. From spa-quality bathtubs to toilets and more, American Standard has it all. Like the Diplomat Brown Toilet, featuring an ever-clean antimicrobial finish that prevents mold, mildew, and stains. Find American Standard toilets at Menards. #1 in customer satisfaction among home improvement retailers, according to J.D. Power. For more information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, our guy Stewie, he always has something going on with a customer or something that he's researching. Stewie, what do you got for us today?
You know what, Anthony, I just want to say we live in the best country in the United States. July 4th's here. Recognize where you are. Look all over the world. If you want a mortgage in France, Middle East, you got to put 40% down, 50% down. Here in the United States, you got to put zero down. You get the home of your dreams, no down payment, no closing costs with the bagel loan. You get in for nothing. You can't get that anywhere else in the world. Be proud of who you are. Be proud to be American. It's time to stand up and say, you know what? We are the best here in the country, and you can own the home of your dreams with just a click of the mouse.
Well, Anthony, I'm proud to have Stewie as our guy. That's for sure. And Stewie always does great work with our listeners. And when it comes to purchasing a home, not only does he have amazing programs like the bagel loan and other things available to our listeners, he gets them to the closing table. And that's the biggest thing. That's all you can want when you're a customer.
Absolutely. So when you pick up the phone and call or text Stewie, know that you're going to get that old school customer service. You're going to save money over the course of your loan. You're going to have somebody that's actually going to care about you. So if you got an opportunity to maybe refi, you do so quickly. But again, you got to pick up the phone and either call Stewie or text him at 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Or you can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
to the Fast Lane. I am Carey Davis, joined by Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, and Jamie Rivers. And before we went to break, Marshy, we were talking about the Cardinals' succession plan for one of their greatest players to put on a Cardinals uniform, Yadi Molina. Did they do what was needed to have a great succession plan for one Yadi Molina?
Yes, they nailed it.
I agree. Now, they did. The front office did a fantastic job. They signed Willson Contreras, signed him to a great deal. The players may not have been on board with it. Some of the pitchers may not have agreed with how that succession plan, because I think there was an expectation that Willson would be what Yadi was. And it's so hard to replace a Hall of Fame player. Like, that's got to be one of the hardest things to do, especially for the next player that's coming in after that Hall of Fame player. I often think about Royce Clayton and what he had to deal with, because he was not Ozzie Smith.
Right.
Like, not at all. Good player, but not the greatest shortstop to ever play the game. And to have to come in and replace him, that's hard on the player. But I think the Cardinals did a great job with Willson, signing him to the contract. I just don't think that first year went as planned based on how some of the pitchers may have felt about it.
Well, when your teammates throw you under the bus without even knowing you, it's a difficult start for sure. But I think ultimately the Cardinals got it right. And not even just from a baseball standpoint. I think you needed somebody with a very strong, confident personality, because you knew whoever it is, you're walking in and you're automatically being compared to Yadi. Well, is he as good as Yadi? Has he got the energy like Yadi? Is he so you couldn't have had somebody soft come in at that point.
Correct.
Because they would have gotten eaten up, especially now knowing what the pitching staff did to Willson, what they would have done to somebody else. So being a strong personality and a confident individual, even he struggled a little bit, but ultimately he won over the fan base. He won over the clubhouse. And the deal now looks like a good one. Is he Yadi? No. Right. Nobody is. That's why Yadi's one of the best to ever play.
Yeah.
But Willson Contreras has got that fire. He's got that leadership ability. So the signing, as far as like on paper, what it represented, it was a good signing. But I think the match for the way Willson Contreras is, his personality and his confidence and his competitiveness, I think that is where they really did a great job.
And while he missed a lot of time this year, he's also been your best offensive player over your last 2 years. Right. Yeah. I'm not going to fault him for that.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's not like he tweaked a groin.
I'm just saying he missed some time.
Got hit by a bat.
Jeez.
Go get it back, Carey. We're going to test Anthony's arm out. See how he likes it.
Yeah.
I won't. No, he's been your best offensive player the last 2 years too. I think Willson Contreras. First of all, let's give some credit here to John Mozeliak, right? The ultimate whipping boy among the fan base. But John Mozeliak nailed it with his plan to sign Willson Contreras. He got the money from the DeWitts. Used pretty much all of his budget to sign an offensive catcher after having Yadi for the numerous years that he did. But when it comes to Willson Contreras stepping in, I think that he has passed with flying colors, not just from an on-field standpoint, but right out of the gates. He understood the magnitude of that position for the organization. He understood the magnitude of what it was going to mean to replace Yadi or Molina. He came with a World Series pedigree, so he didn't have anything to back away from or shy away from. Yet he still made sure that he was grateful and appreciative of stepping into the spot that Yadi occupied for 2 decades. So I think he nailed it from start to finish. As you guys mentioned, the pitching staff didn't. The pitching staff struggled with, not having somebody do their homework for them. And eventually, those guys either were traded, aren't around anymore, and the Cardinals replaced them with guys like Sonny Gray and Kyle Gibson, who have embraced Willson Contreras, who has improved as a defender, by the way. Now, he broke his arm because he started to scoot up a little bit more, but now he's still a better defender, especially from a pitch framing standpoint, than he was a year ago. So I think the Cardinals nailed it. I think Willson Contreras nailed it. It's been fantastic.
I get so confused by... I know you don't get on the text line with good reason. But
I'll respond to everybody.
We got a response here.
You'll never see me.
We have a losing record with him as a catcher. He's a loser. Nothing has come from him being here.
Well, technically not wrong. That team was terrible last year.
Because of him?
No, but he was on the team. Is he a loser? Yeah, there were a lot of losers on that team last year.
Oh, man.
Because they lost a lot of games.
He's also, Contreras is one of the worst signings ever. He's an old, bad defensive catcher. Those guys don't make $17 million a year except for here.
If somebody wants to make that debate that the overall dollar value for Wilson Contreras is too much because he's more of a DH than a catcher, or the back end of the contract, he'll be more of a DH, and that's a high price to pay, you know what? You probably have a little bit of an argument there. It's fine. But Wilson Contreras, his defensive metrics don't even put him in the bottom half of the league. Like, I don't understand what... it's not like the guy gets up there and can't catch a baseball. Was his framing as good as it needed to be? No.
And it's much better this year.
Much better this year. But how much do you appreciate the arm on Wilson Contreras, having watched Herrera just give up 2 bases every single time? Now you've got a guy that's got a cannon where teams are even hesitant to try. So
unless you're the Reds, then they still on everybody.
Well, yeah, but that one guy, he's like Illy de la Cruz. 3 or 4 steps, he's there. The guy's flying.
So John Fitzgerald's giving me crap from the Snake Pit. Anthony, you're giving Mozeliak too much credit. He wanted to trade with Oakland for Murphy until he saw the price was too high, so he spent the Cardinals pitching money. So he didn't make the move for Oakland. If he traded for Sean Murphy and he gave up some of the pitching that was required to get that deal done, because it wasn't just going to be Newt Barr. I knew Newt Barr was mentioned in that deal. He probably would have had to give up young pitching. You would have been all right with that as opposed to just spending money? I'm confused. Maybe I have it wrong.
I don't know.
Like, I don't think we could just assume that he spent the Cardinals pitching money with that money that was just simply allocated to pitching.
You can move the needle anywhere you want. When you look at some moves from John Mozeliak, you can try and tie certain moves together. You can make sure that they don't coincide. It's all your own perception of what's going on. Nobody knows what actually is going on in there, except for the guys who are in the meetings.
Let me just make sure that I get this one right so people feel good. Mo's a bum. All right. We good?
Yeah, all right.
Cool. Did that cover it for everybody?
Mo deserves,
thank you. Mo deserves zero credit. Mo's a bum.
Do I ever reference defensive metrics?
I heard, all the time.
No, seriously, ever?
No.
Like in ever, right?
Not specifically, but you may say like in general.
Yeah. Well, someone just said, "Come on, Jamie. I love you, I really do, but you beat the crap out of the defensive metrics and say they're misleading and then use it to support your..." I've never used that.
You think people, when they listen,
sorry,
they get
I don't
confused?
even know a defensive metric for a catcher. How about that? I'm going to be completely honest. Framing. I don't even know what the metric is, though.
I think people get confused when they text in.
I'm at the mercy of the court at this point. I don't.
Let's just make things up the rest of the show.
Man.
Yeah, according to them, that's what we do anyway.
Anthony, what young pitching do the Cardinals have that make a difference? John, we've covered this. Mo's a bum. I don't know what else to tell you. Mo's a bum. He deserves no credit. How the guy ties his own shoes every morning. I couldn't. I don't know.
He's got slip-ons.
He's got slip-ons.
I was going to say the Velcro straps.
Yeah.
Light up shoes. Light up shoes on.
Strap.
You don't think so?
No,
he's doing loafers.
Mo's got the shoehorn that like you don't have to bend over. It's like a cane just into his nice slippers.
Is Mo like a Crocs guy or like a Yeezys guy?
Probably a Crocs.
Mo is
might be
a loafer. Yeah. That's him letting loose is like a loafer, like a penny loafer.
Does he have the penny in there, though?
Maybe. Probably. He should have spent it on pitching.
There you go. By the way, the last young pitchers that Mo gave up in a trade were Sandy Alcantara and Zach Allen. So
they're good.
Just saying. If Mo's going to give up pitching, it's probably going to be Cy Young candidates. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. To have enough shots at Mo, Marshy? Okay, yep. We covered it. Gauntlet next.
Hey, it's Carey, and it is July, and that means it usually is getting hot. And if you're tired of paying the high utility bills every month because your home's AC keeps running, it's probably because your windows are not energy efficient. If yours are builder grade or over 8 years old, the seals are likely broken with air leaking out, and you're paying the price in high utility bills all year long. Window Nation high-quality windows are built to last a lifetime. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free. There's no limit to how much you can save. Plus, you can save even more with 0 down and 0 interest for 24 months. No payments as well. Windows Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and can be installed in 1 day or less. They even recently ranked highest on the Forbes list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now. Call 866-90NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. That's 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. 866-90NATION or online at windownation.com.
Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
4:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. And before we get to, you said Andrew, right? Yeah, before we get to Andrew in the Gauntlet, the Blues have made another move.
Yep.
And you're going to recognize this last name. Because the Blues just signed Mathieu Joseph's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he wanted to make sure that Mathieu Joseph was comfortable here in St. Louis. So they signed his brother.
What's his name, Anthony?
I don't know. Peter. Something.
Pierre Olivier Joseph. He's 25 years old, left-handed shot. What was it, 900,000, Marshy? 950?
950.
Guy didn't play much last year, apparently.
Well, played 52 games, 75 games the year before. He's played quite a few games. He's got 147 under his belt at 25. It's a pretty good number.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an interesting move because we were talking about Tyler Tucker earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Tucker's right in this wheelhouse of this. So if they're signing another guy, like, competition just got that much heavier.
Well, you want competition, especially in camp. You know?
Speaking of competition, it's time for the Gauntlet.
Andrew, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Matt. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. First time?
Oh, yeah, first time. A long-time listener, though.
Well, dude, thanks for listening.
That.
Yeah, appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh? Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me today?
We'll do the Battle of the Andrews today. Go with Marsh.
Ooh, nice. Marsh must have picked somebody that he figured was going to play him.
So.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
No doubt. All right, Andrew, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel, and then we'll kick Marsh out.
All right, let's spin that wheel.
All right. The wheel has been spun. Marsh, get the hell out of here.
Seriously, Marsh. Hurry.
Andrew, what are you hoping for?
Baseball, probably.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Marsh might be a little rusty here.
It's your lucky day.
He ran into everything in the studio.
I was wondering, he bumped into the chair and then bumped into
the chair, the desk, the door.
He's been working out.
It's the first time he's been out in a while. So
Go back. Yeah. You missed a piece of furniture.
Right. So it was baseball?
Oh, yeah, it is baseball.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So, Andrew, as you know, as a regular listener, you're going to get 4 questions, all related to baseball. Marsh is going to get the same 4 questions. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I'm ready for it.
All right, our guy Bradford Bruns must have wrote these because they're pretty lengthy. We love Bradford. Does a great job here on 101 ESPN. He's filling in today on the board for BK and Ferrario. So hang with me, Andrew. Listen to this. Historic Rickwood Field hosted its first Major League game on June 20th, paying special tribute to the late Willie Mays. The Say Hey Kid was named MVP in 1954 when his New York Giants swept which team in the World Series?
Let's go with the options.
The Detroit Tigers, the New York Yankees, or the then Cleveland Indians?
Let's go with the Tigers.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Andrew. Question 2. Entering today's action, only one American League Central batter has already recorded 100 base hits this season. Can you name him?
Let's go with the options again.
Is it Willie Castro, Bobby Witt Jr., or Jose Ramirez?
Let's go with Bobby Witt Jr.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 3. In the pandemic-shortened campaign of 2020, Freddie Freeman earned Most Valuable Player honors on the National League side. Who won the AL award, batting .317 with 19 home runs and 60 RBIs across 60 games?
Options.
Is it Jose Abreu, Jose Altuve, or Mike Trout?
I believe it was Jose Abreu. Final answer.
All right. Andrew, question 4. Immediately before Truist Park, where did the Atlanta Braves play their home games?
Like the stadium before it? Didn't they change names?
Yeah, immediately before Truist Park, where did the Atlanta Braves play their home games?
Turner Field. Final answer.
All right. Let's bring back Marshy. Andrew, how you feeling?
Decent.
Okay. Marsh is going to make his way back into the cone of silence. We're about to find out if Marsh is rusty at all.
We'll see if he hits anything on
Bumps
the
into
way in.
everything on his way
Looks
in.
like he was good.
Throw a couple of curb
After
fielders
hitting
on
the
that hat.
yeah, after hitting the chair, the desk,
Carey Davis, the door.
yeah, the door. He's back.
I had a little bit of the Lake of the Ozarks Jamie Rivers in me.
Okay,
Yeah,
stumbling, bumbling.
Yeah, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Once you get that into you, just never know what could happen.
You never know. Freaky Friday, right?
Yeah, big time.
Freaky
Yep.
Tuesday. Freaky 4 o'clock.
All right, Marsh. Let's sharpen up here. All right. First of all, how's the cone of silence?
It was great talking with Mike Ryder. It was fantastic.
Second of all, Carey, tell him.
A pack of lunch.
Okay.
Jamie, tell him.
It's time to go.
Baseball is your category.
Following.
Baseball is your
I was
category
like,
today.
I thought you screwed up because he said pack of lunch. You're like, Jamie, I was like,
Nope.
you just said pack of lunch.
Yeah. I was going to switch it up a little bit. So.
Yeah, well, clearly it worked.
Okay. Marsh, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Historic Rickwood Field hosted its first Major League game on June 20th, paying special tribute to the late Willie Mays. The Say Hey Kid was named MVP in 1954 when his New York Giants swept which team in the World Series?
54?
1954.
I have no idea. Options.
The Detroit Tigers, the New York Yankees or the then Cleveland Indians?
I'll go with the Yankees. Final answer.
All right, Marshy, question number 2. Entering today's action, only one American League Central batter has already recorded 100 base hits this season. Name that player.
American League Central?
Correct.
I'll go with Jose Ramirez. Final answer.
Question number 3. In the pandemic-shortened campaign of 2020, Freddie Freeman earned Most Valuable Player honors on the National League side. Who won the AL award, batting .317 with 19 home runs and 60 RBIs across 60 games?
I'm going to have to use the options.
Is it Jose Abreu, Jose Altuve, or Mike Trout?
Oh, man. Jose Abreu. Man, if it's him, his career's gone down the toilet. I might use the Anthony Stalter technique here, where Mike Trout just seems like the obvious answer. But Jose Altuve can also, put the ball into the bleachers. I'll go Jose Altuve. Final answer.
All right, Marsh. Last question for you. Immediately before Truist Park, where did the Atlanta Braves play their home games?
They played at Turner Field. Final answer.
All right. And here we go. Start off with this, the last question. Immediately before Truist Park, where did the Atlanta Braves play their home games? Marsh, you just said Turner Field. Andrew, you said Turner Field. Correct answer is?
It is, in fact, Turner Field.
Neither of you used the options on that one. Nice job, guys. 2-2 tie. Historic Rickwood Field hosted its first Major League game on June 20th, paying special tribute to the late Willie Mays. The Say Hey Kid was named MVP in 1954 when his New York Giants swept which team in the World Series? Andrew, you said the Tigers. Marsh, you said the Yankees. Correct answer is?
It is the Cleveland Indians.
Cleveland Indians. So we still have a 2-2 tie between Andrew and Marsh today. In the pandemic-shortened campaign of 2020, Freddie Freeman earned Most Valuable Player honors on the National League side. Who won the AL award, batting .317 with 19 homers and 60 RBI across 60 games? Marsh, you went with Jose Altuve. Andrew, you went with Jose Abreu. Correct answer is?
Oh, it was Jose Abreu.
Damn it.
Andrew did use the options on that one, so he has a 1-point lead over Marsh. It comes down to this. Entering today's action, only one American League Central batter has already recorded 100 base hits this season. Name him. Andrew used the options, and he went with Bobby Witt Jr. Marsh did not use the options. He went with Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians. If it's Jose Ramirez, Marsh wins today because he did not use the options. If it's Bobby Witt or Willie Castro, who are the other two options, because Jose Ramirez was an option, then Andrew's going to win. Carey, which American League Central batter has already recorded 100 base hits this season?
Bobby Witt Jr.
Andrew.
You have chosen wisely.
Nice job, Andrew. You won 4-2 today over Marsh. Marsh a little rusty. He hadn't played in over a month.
My bad day. Yeah.
So you'll be back tomorrow to take on either Carey, Jamie, or me. Congratulations, man. Nice job.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job,
right,
Andrew. Great name. Great performance.
Appreciate it.
Nice. All right. We'll talk to you, buddy.
Sounds good.
There you have it. Marsh, you okay, bud?
No.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Which one are you really
these
crushing yourself?
Questions from the 50s.
Yeah.
I just no
Both
idea.
teams had to deal with it, though, Marshy.
No, I know. No.
It's like saying the ice was bad. Both teams had to play it.
I think what Marsh is saying here is he's disappointed in himself. He's a little aggravated, and he's taken umbrage with maybe some of the questions.
I know. I've done the same in the past.
Jamie.
Anthony, I hate losing.
I know you do.
I hate it.
That's why we love you here.
We all do.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. It really bothers us. Yeah. Jamie, if I may.
Oh, please do.
If you would get your head out of the damn defensive metrics statistics that you're always looking at. Maybe you support our guy Marshy here.
You're right.
All right.
I just love
something
those
to think about.
Defensive metrics.
I know you do.
You know what they're called, those things.
Well, you should know. You look at them all the time.
Jamie, every time you talk about OOA, it just really bothers me.
Yeah.
OOA. What did you call him?
Exactly.
Nobody knows.
OOA.
Yeah.
Never heard that one.
Sounds like a condition.
It's a defensive metric.
Oh, outs above average, right?
Outs above average.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, had you said it differently, had you said OOA, then I would have known.
Like DRS, you know that one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
defensive runs saved?
Of course.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be LOA?
I know what that one is.
Outs above average.
You're right. Sorry.
That's why you threw him off. He didn't know what
Exactly.
OOA is.
Yeah.
We still never caught on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you said A.
I don't know. Really? Jamie's really good with his abbreviations, as we found out last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. All right. Speaking of Jamie,
just a prisoner of the moment.
He's not. You weren't here.
I heard though. I listened.
I can't remember. I had 2 words for you.
Yeah.
No, 3.
3. No, 4. 5. It's 5. Speaking of Jamie, he's going to break down all the Blues moves. They had a busy day today. Did they accomplish anything? That's next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to working with Mosby Building Arts, there is no better company to work with for anything. Big, small, any sort of remodeling, they got you covered at Mosby Building Arts. Some smaller jobs that, may make a huge difference when it comes to upgrading the look and feel of your home. How about interior? You ever thought about upgrading the fireplace? You can update it. You can have a new front, maybe some new stonework or woodwork, built-ins around the fireplace. Laundry room. Think about the space maybe that you don't have in your current laundry room. If you want to upgrade that and actually improve this space and work better with the space that you do have, call Mosby. They're fantastic with that. Same thing with mud rooms or kid rooms, kid drop zones. When it comes to creating maybe a home office, it's not necessarily a big remodel such as a kitchen or maybe a basement or a bathroom, but it is something that if you spend a lot of time in the home office because you work from home and you want to upgrade it, great, call Mosby, 314-909-1800. Whether you are taking on a big remodeling job like a kitchen or a new basement, or you're going to do something interior like a new home office or something with the laundry room, Mosby Building Arts, they do it all. Small project, big results, minor changes, major rewards. Give Mosby a call. 314-909-1800. Tell them Stalter sent you. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
very excited that we re-signed Buchnevich. And honestly, with some of the contracts that were handed out yesterday during the first day of free agency, 6 years, $8 million a year actually strikes me as a little bit of a bargain for a guy that plays power play 1, PK 1, forward line 1, can play center, can play wing. I'm really excited. I think the Blues overall aren't going to get much better unless they do something about their blue line. But like it's been said on this show over and over again, they got some contracts in the way. But I think we're headed the right direction.
That was Vincent who left us a mic drop. You can always participate as well. Thank you, Vincent, for leaving us said mic drop. And by the way, before we get into all the Blues moves from today, and Jamie will have a full breakdown for you, we have your chance to score a pair of tickets to see Def Leppard and Journey with Cheap Trick this Saturday, July 6th at Busch Stadium. Tickets for Def Leppard, Journey, and Cheap Trick are at Busch. The stadium's at Busch. I'm sorry. The concert is at Busch Stadium. Are on sale now. Or you can text in 314-399-9646 for your chance to win free tickets to the show. And you can get all the concert details now at 101ESPN.com. Yesterday, we had the trivia question about Carey and the football program that he no-called, no-showed for. And the correct answer was... Michigan, that's correct.
What have they ever done, though, Anthony?
That's a good point.
A lot. I think they have more wins than probably. I think every team.
They're up there.
They produced the future of the NFL.
Yes, they do. J.J. McCarthy. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Today's trivia question is going to be centered on our guy, Jamie Rivers.
Oh, gosh.
Which country did Jamie die in? Which country did Jamie die in?
There are a lot of people who are going to get this wrong. Watch.
I'm sure they will. Yeah. I'm sure they will. It's a little tougher today. But you've heard Jamie talk about how he died on that ice and wound up in that pet cemetery for a brief, what was it, 24 hours? 30? Was it 48?
What, in the hospital?
Yeah.
No, I ended up staying. It took me 36 hours to go to the hospital.
What?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm all right. I just sleep it off, Carey. And then once I was there, and once they cut me open, they tried to keep me there.
Yeah.
Forever.
Did they put you like on ice? You know, if you catch a fish, you put them on ice.
Just wheeled him in the corner.
I wasn't even. That's exactly it. They just wheeled me into the corner. The guy had a cigarette going. I'll never forget the guy had a cigarette in the friggin' room.
Just smoking a dart.
Smoking a cigarette.
Smokes a dart, puts it on the wound.
Which is why I thought they were trying to... Which is why I thought they were trying to kill me. This guy's got a dart. It's a hitman.
Hey, buddy, you want this? We don't have any anesthesia for you.
Right. We do have this. So which country did Jamie legally die in when playing hockey? Mm-hmm. Text in 314-399-9646. You go see Def Leppard and Journey. Okay. The big move today for the Blues is that they signed Pavel Buchnevich to a 6-year, $48 million contract extension. So he's got 1 year left on his current deal, and then the contract extension kicks in. They also acquired Radek Faksa from Dallas and Mathieu Joseph from Ottawa for future considerations from the Stars and Senators, respectively. From the Senators, they also got a third-round pick in that deal, too. So a third-round pick as well as Mathieu Joseph, and then they got Radek Faksa from Dallas for future considerations. They also signed Mathieu Joseph's brother, a defenseman, 25-year-old defenseman, Pierre Olivier. Pierre Olivier Joseph.
There you go.
Yeah, so that Mathieu has a buddy when he comes to St. Louis. So
it's actually his brother. So it'd be his brother and his brother.
His best friend.
Exactly.
Well, we don't know that.
Probably.
Maybe there's friction. You never know. Maybe that's what Army wants. A little sandpaper in the locker room.
Not a bad thought.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Going at it.
Not a bad thought. Jamie, assess these moves.
It's actually his brother.
It is.
Yeah.
His real brother.
Yeah.
Well, I know he said, I said his brother. Well, now he's got a buddy that's coming with him.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Bobby Bowden and Jim Bowden.
Two different guys.
Brothers. Those are brothers. But like these guys are actually brothers.
Right. Yeah.
Like blood.
Yes. Yeah. And never mind. They're brothers.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm told.
Jamie, your full assessment.
Of the brothers?
No, the moves that the Blues made. People are dying to hear what you have to say. All right?
This is what we...
You want me to break it down?
No, not really.
Thank you.
You got to call BT back. He can help us.
Yeah,
he said he'd call him back.
Sure.
We talked about yesterday how Doug Armstrong wasn't going to be a part of the first day festivities of free agent frenzy, which, by the way, hit over $1 billion for the first time in NHL history. It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of do-re-mi.
It sure is. And Army today, he gets involved. He makes a couple trades, acquires some depth pieces up front, some experience in Faksa, and still some experience / upside with the Joseph trade, the Mathieu Joseph trade. And just a little while ago, now adds another depth piece on the blue line. You were trying to improve yourself defensively. And so Army he's trying to get creative while having limited spots available. So he goes and acquires Pierre-Olivier Joseph, and he's a relatively big guy, left-handed shot. Signed him for under $1 million. I'm still anxious to see what the terms are of that exact contract, if it's a full one-way deal or if it's a two-way contract, much like a Calle Rosen was. Is that what his vision is for Pierre-Olivier Joseph, or is it more like to compete for the roster immediately? You know, sometimes the contract tells you what their thoughts are, but these are small moves that are going to make the Blues better. You look at some of the mock lineups from people who are putting lines together already, which I'm always fascinated with that.
That's kind of fun.
I love the excitement.
Yeah, it's fun.
And some of the lines, when you look at it, looks pretty good, pretty solid. Again, it's going to depend on some of your talented players taking those steps forward even more. It's going to come down to Jordan Kyrou playing a better all-around game, a more consistent game. Zach Bolduc, does he make a difference in your lineup? Does Dalibor Dvorsky make a difference in your lineup? All of these things to be determined. But just face value of it all, I like these moves. I'm good with it.
Carey, what do you think?
Yeah,
as a Blues fan, somebody that's not going to break down every player's. Like, do you like the direction? Do you think that, for me, I'm like, it's a couple small moves. I understand what Doug Armstrong's doing. I don't think it's going to be an exciting year next year for the Blues, unfortunately. But I do see. Well, exciting is a relative term. You know,
exciting is
it's going to be fun.
Okay, I think that what I said earlier. I think they come on, man.
Everything's fine.
I think they were not going to go and overspend like we've seen some of these teams do. The Predators being one of them. That's not the mold that they're in. They're in the mode of we got some good players. They're young, some of them are, and then we got some younger players that are prospects that are working their way up, and eventually. Again, we talked about it earlier. I think this is a 3-year process, 3 to 5 years, not just worried about this upcoming season. I know Blues fans want the team to win a Stanley Cup. They're probably not poised or ready to win a Stanley Cup this season or next season, but maybe in 3, when all your players are have met the requirements that they need to meet to be the players that they need to be, then they'll be here. And this team will be better and ready with your veteran guys under contract and ready to roll.
I think it's going to be crap, Anthony.
Yeah.
And like Ed said one time,
consistent, responsible, aggressive, and positive.
That's right, baby.
It's going to be crap, baby.
Yeah, I like that. I forgot about that. Was that about the Cardinals?
No, it was about the Blues.
It was about the Blues all season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
I like that. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Keeping it positive.
Yep.
Crap.
It's going to be a crap off season and a crap season.
Aggressive. Forgot the last one. Positive or productive?
No, I thought it said positive.
We'll go with that one.
Could be productive, though.
We'll just play it again.
Yeah, why not?
You want to?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
consistent, responsible, aggressive, and positive.
There you go.
Positive. Yep. Jamie believes that too. Yeah. Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service tax line. You have a question for us? I just looked at the screen.
They are. They're Walrus King.
I just looked at the screen while we were going through that. Like, we're on delay here on the screen. It was just funny how all three of us were listening to the crap.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Anyways, Sports Six Pack is next here on 101 ESPN. Right now, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have extended their hail sale so you can enjoy massive price discounts with no payments for 3 months and no down payment available on select new and used inventory all through the month of June. Actually, I should say that you can take advantage of some of these unbelievable sales that they have at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum while it's still going on. The hail sale, they've extended it, but it's as the vehicles are available. So when you head out to Herculaneum, you'll see that they have over 700 vehicles on their lot, all in one location. You're bound to find the perfect car that fits the need that you have as well as your budget. And they have financing options for everyone, as well as the 30-day return promise. So within 30 days, if you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle or the sales experience, they're so confident, in fact, that you will enjoy both, that they give you that 30-day new car return promise. Return the vehicle within 30 days, they'll give you a refund. Complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, as well as complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. So head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. AutoCentersNissan.com is where you can start tonight, though. The hail sale's been extended. Check them out. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues announced today that the team has signed forward Pavel Buchnevich to a 6-year contract extension worth $48 million. That is $8 million AAV. The Blues also traded for Radek Faksa from Dallas and Mathieu Joseph from Ottawa. St. Louis also receives Ottawa's 2025 third-round pick. Both deals include future considerations. The Cardinals take on the Pirates tonight. Kyle Gibson on the mound going up against Mitch Keller. 5:40 first pitch. We talked earlier today with Brad Thompson. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or use the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. That's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our Sports Six Pack coming up next, so send us a question to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six Pack is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Speaking of Marsh, he's got your questions for the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646 for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
First question comes from the 314, and this texter is confused about all of the moves today from the Blues. Maybe not so much the Pavel Buchnevich move, but saying, I thought we were giving opportunity to the young guys. Where do they fit now?
Well, I still think that when you look at it, everybody's competing. There's roster spots to be won. When you're not a playoff team or a contender, there's always roster spots available. And when you take in your third and fourth line guys up front, if you can't, there's contracts that can be moved. They can be traded, they can be waived, they can be sent down. If a young guy kicks in the front door and takes a job, he'll have it. Army's made it clear that Zach Bolduc is part of the plan right now. He's made it clear that Zach Dean is competing for a spot, could have a good spot on the roster. Dalibor Dvorsky is here to make the team this year. If none of that happens, then you have a roster. If all of those things happen, then you get rid of players. It's not that hard.
Fair enough.
Question number 2.
Love this question from the 618. Is Mo the Nickelback of the Cardinals? Like everyone sees everyone hating on him, and it's the cool thing to do, when in reality, he's actually fine. Not great, but fine.
The only difference is like the people will still sing Nickelback songs. They might do it to themselves, right? Like, or you know, they're alone and they start singing a great Nickelback tune. All right. Mm-hmm. I don't think that people, when they're by themselves, still say, you know that Mo, he's done a nice job. Yeah. I think they really feel it in their bones that they don't like him and that he's terrible and that he hasn't really made a move in ever, Bob. And he just, like, they're not going to admit any goodness when it comes to Mo. Unlike, again, some Nickelback, when you're at home or you're driving down the road, like, man, I haven't heard State of Mind in a long time. Start jamming out to some Nickelback. I think that's the name of the song.
I don't know. I would have to hear the song for me to know, and you would have to tell me that it's Nickelback. I know.
Bet you know the lyrics, though.
I probably would, but I don't know off the top of my head a Nickelback song.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like if Mo was Nickelback, I don't know if people are singing like, look at this 35-year-old pitcher we just signed.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah,
no.
I understand it though. I like what they're doing here. I like what the texter's doing because what they're alluding to is that, you know, it's just cool to bag on Nickelback, but then you know most of their jams.
Nickelback that people don't like. They got some really good songs.
It's just a cool thing to do, Carey.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Be your own person.
Just a bunch of good Canadian guys making good music. That's all.
There you go.
Yep. Like Rockstar.
Great song.
Good video, too.
Rockstar?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You've heard Rockstar.
By Nickelback?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Carey, I don't like
to hear
this.
it.
Because we all just don't want to be big rock stars and living hilltop castles driving 15 cars. You haven't heard that song?
Oh, yeah, I do know. There you go. All right.
Drugs come cheap.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Yeah, all right.
There's a lyric.
Mo is fine.
I forgot that was the question.
We got there. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We got there.
Question number 3.
Yeah. From the 314, what current NFL player would you choose to be your franchise player? Non-quarterback.
I was about to say.
Patrick Mahomes.
I think it was going to be unanimous.
The rest of the six-pack neck.
Non-quarterback.
Micah Parsons.
You really love that guy.
Let's go TJ Watt.
You do.
Maybe I just love that he gets after the quarterback consistently.
Unless they're playing the
You
Green
just
Bay
don't like him
Packers.
because he's a cowboy.
Well, unless they're playing the Green Bay Packers and the whole defense just does not decide to show up. It's like they forgot that they had a game And the Packers did not. I mean, the Cowboys were at home, so I don't know how you forget you have a game. Maybe because they didn't have to travel.
Maybe they thought it was a scrimmage.
Even then, the effort would have been higher.
You hate the Cowboys, but you love Dak. How did Dak do that day?
I don't love Dak. Dak is just going to get paid a ton of money.
And you would pay him.
I would, because you don't have anything else.
I rest my case.
Come on, Carey.
You don't have anything else.
Micah Parsons for me.
TJ Watt for me.
I would go TJ Watt as well. I feel like a receiver. I know Marshy is thinking Justin Jefferson.
Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
Jefferson.
Roblox had thrown him the ball this year.
I think he's going to have a good year.
I actually think he's going to have a decent year.
He's actually on a decent team with an opportunity. Like, he was on the Jets. That team was terrible. They always will be terrible.
Right.
Because they're the Jets.
That's correct.
He was on the 49ers, and maybe he was like, hey, this is how you can play quarterback in the NFL.
Or maybe he was on the Jets and he was part of the problem on the Jets. Huh?
No.
I'm seeing ghosts.
Problem.
Then every Jet not named Joe Namath has been a problem.
Well, I didn't say that you're wrong.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's the Jets.
Right.
Like Browns.
Exactly.
Same.
Thank you.
Yeah. Give me Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, that's another good pick. He's a running back, though.
Yeah. If I can't take a quarterback, give me a guy that is versatile.
You can't take a quarterback, you're going to take the running back.
Yeah, because that's the lifeblood of every organization. I don't know why they don't pay those guys.
Carey, what position did you play?
I play running back and fullback.
All right. I couldn't remember. That's what it was. Yeah.
Backup quarterback.
Hard to place.
Yeah, right. Backup quarterback. Okay, we're going to continue our sports six-pack. By the way, the correct answer to the trivia question, a lot of people, Jamie, you had said that a lot of people are going to get this wrong, and you're right. It wasn't Russia that wasn't the country that Jamie died in. It was Croatia. Croatia is where Jamie found himself on a metal slab, naked as the day he was born, and looking over and seeing that dock of smoking that dart.
Well, my stomach is cut open.
While his stomach
tried to
is
sit up.
Yeah.
Yep. Tried to sit up.
I gotta get out of here.
Shoved down.
Yep.
Stapled.
It's going to fall out.
Yeah.
That's great.
Everything.
Nice job, Jamie.
Buddy probably had the cigarette in his mouth at the same time.
Yep. You should probably put it on your knee or something. All right. Sports Six-Pack continue next.
question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, continuing our Sports Six-Pack. Marsh, go.
Question number 4.
Love this question. This comes from Joe Dirt's Dodge Charger. With the 4th of July coming up, what sport is more American, baseball or football?
Well, baseball is America's pastime, so...
I mean, and it's past time to move on into football.
But football is the more popular sport.
It's football.
I would say football.
Yeah. I mean, nobody.
What'd you say?
More American.
Well, first of all, since baseball's played all over the world in several countries, that's not just American. Where I feel like the NFL, that's American.
Yeah.
I'm going to go football.
That's honestly kind of like what you did there. It's really smart, Jamie.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't the United States just lose to Japan in football?
No, that was soccer.
No,
and it wasn't soccer. It was, or it wasn't. It wasn't.
I think it was football.
They did just lose to somebody
they lost
in
to
football.
Uruguay.
No, actual American football.
What?
The United States lost to Japan.
Okay, what team did the United States send over
I
there?
don't know.
Me, you, and Anthony?
I mean, we should win.
No disrespect. You probably
should
win.
What Pop Warner team went to Japan and lost?
I don't know.
There's no way.
Yeah.
What game? What tournament?
Yes.
I'm looking it up
What are we
right now.
talking about?
You saw it, didn't
Oh
you,
my
Marsh?
God, they lost to two
They lost
countries.
like 41-20 to Japan.
Who are we sending?
Come on.
No.
You guys are just we lost to Japan in football.
Here we go, guys. The IFAF, as Fastlane, World Junior Championships. The United States failed to earn a medal after losing to Japan and Austria.
Well, they're obviously not sending the kids who are any good. Oh, no disrespect to the kids who are on that team, but
No,
you're
they
no
played
good.
hard. They
They're no
played
good.
hard.
The U20.
Yeah,
U20.
You
World
give me an
Championships.
hour and Carey Davis, and I'll put together a U20 team that'll kick somebody's butt. I don't know who the hell they're picking.
It was like 41-20.
And by the way, Gator brings up a good point in the snake pit. He goes, it's called American football in Europe and the rest of the world. So, there you go.
But
Football's America's game.
It is.
I feel
it's why we lose at other things like soccer.
We should get to that
I don't
soon.
think you should lose.
To a country that has fewer people in it than Connecticut?
No, I don't think you should.
Well,
shout out Connecticut.
Yeah.
Where Anthony's from.
love the Connecticut sun.
Where Anthony's from.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your son covered last night.
They certainly did. They absolutely did.
S-U-N, not S-O-N, of course, Marsh.
Well, obviously, you have two sons.
Yes, right. But you do not.
I don't.
No, you just have your son.
Yeah.
Who covered last night against the Mercury.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Question number 5.
Thank you.
From the 314, what is your favorite or funniest, hey, rookie, welcome to the league story?
Mine was... Anthony's hilarious. Mine was, I've said this story before. I was in the huddle in Indianapolis. Peyton is there, the entire offensive line. I'm standing next to Reggie Wayne and Edgerrin James. Marcus Pollard was the starting tight end, and I'm sitting in the huddle. I'm like, wow. If Marvin Harrison joins this huddle, I'm in here with the Indianapolis Colts. This is amazing. And Marvin comes trotting, jogging into the huddle. And I'm just staring at him like, oh, my God. This is amazing. Like, I'm looking around. Ready, break. And I didn't hear one word that Peyton said. Like, I missed the entire play. I missed the entire call. I didn't know what the snap count was. I freaked out. Like, because now I went from a fan to, I'm going to get fired. Like, what's the play, Peyton? I don't know what this is. What do I do? So, for me, it was just being there in that moment with all of those future Hall of Famers and standing in the huddle and like, man, I've been watching you guys on TV for the last 5-6 years. This is amazing.
So what happened?
Peyton was like a machine.
Peyton saw it in his eyes, calling audible.
I asked him, I said, what's the play? You got this, Rook. He didn't even tell me the play. He just told me what to do. So I was okay. But I did have a sheer panic run through me because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So for me, it was probably, one of the ones that I'll never forget is standing on the blue line for national anthem. And, it's here at Kiel Center at the time. And place is buzzing. And the national anthem's going. I'm kind of looking around a little bit. I look to my left. There's Brett Hull, Wayne Gretzky, Al McInnes, me, Shane Corson was out there. So we were starting the game. But as I'm looking, I'm like, this is pretty wild. There's actually a picture. My parents have it, or my mom rather now has it up at her place where it's a picture from behind. It has all of us lined up and it's
that's great.
I didn't think it was funny that someone circled me and said, which one doesn't belong?
Oh, come on.
I didn't feel really good about that.
Yeah.
And my mother apologized later for doing that. No, all jokes aside, that was kind of a moment where I was like, whew, this is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of circling things, I saw a tweet yesterday. We haven't really mentioned this on the show, but Paul George is with the 76ers now.
Yeah.
And so they had their quote-unquote big three. It was like, who's stopping this big three? It was like a quote tweet of this guy that circled like both of their knees, Joel Embiid and Paul George. It's like, and that was it. It was just that. Like, who's stopping these guys?
Oh, wow.
Their knees.
Yeah.
Their legs.
Yeah.
That's, wow. Well done. All right, Marsh, you got one more for us?
One more.
Question number 6.
All right, from the 636, we've been talking about Pavel Buchnevich getting an extension, 6 years, $8 million AAV from the 636. That has to be the end of Jordan Kyrou then, right? You can't have all three of these guys.
Well, let's get into it next on 101 ESPN.
like the Buch deal. It's good. But now him, Robert Thomas, and Kyrou are your core. So basically, you have to hit your draft picks now. Otherwise, you're stuck.
That was from Michael, who left us a mic drop earlier today. We were talking about the Blues moves, and we asked you what you thought of the offseason now that Pavel Buchnevich has signed a contract extension that will keep him here for the next 7 years. He had a 6-year contract extension, but he already had 1 year left on the deal. So that was from Michael, who left us the mic drop. 504, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We also got a text message right at the end of our Sports Six-Pack that Jamie was absolutely disgusted by. The question was...
it.
Is this the end now of Jordan Kyrou? Because, and by this I mean the Pavel Buchnevich contract extension, because you're paying 3 guys, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, and Buchnevich, a lot of money. So is this now the end of Jordan Kyrou? My response was, what the hell are you going to do with him?
Why is everybody treated that way? I understand that Jordan Kyrou may not be everyone's cup of tea when it comes down to the way he plays, but he's still a point-a-game guy. And he's still a young player. He just turned 26 in May. And you're just ready to kick this kid to the curb? This is another classic case of people just looking at the contract. If that's the case, then, quite honestly, Jordan Kyrou, point-wise, is more deserving of the contract than Pavel Buchnevich, from a points per game standpoint.
Sure.
Now, when you have the entire body of work, then obviously Pavel Buchnevich is a more well-rounded player, but still in and around the same points. So I don't understand why the thought of if you have one, you cannot possibly have the other. The salary cap has gone up. It will continue to go up. Based on the fact that NHL teams spent over $1 billion in free agency, tells me business is going pretty good.
I would say so.
In the NHL.
Yeah.
And when the revenues continue to soar like they are, all that does is send the cap upwards. So $8 million will seem like $4 million in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a player like Jordan Kyrou that can evolve his game more defensively, a little more compete from a game-to-game basis, he's a point-a-game guy. He might even have the ability to get to 85, 90 points given the right situation.
Yeah.
So I just don't see a world where if you have Buchnevich and Thomas, you can't have Kyrou as well. Just don't see it.
That just sounds like people are over it, tired of him. They want him to leave. He led your team in scoring in goals last year. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do without 31 goals.
37 the year before.
Might miss those, but I think that people...
I'm just picturing people being like, this team needs a goal scorer.
They need a 30-goal scorer.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would do without that. I just think that they don't like him as a person. They feel like he got Chief fired.
Yeah.
They feel like he was the main culprit or the main reason for Craig Berube no longer being the head coach here. And so you try to find a scapegoat. It's easy to point at Jordan Kyrou. I think he's still a young player in terms of, he still has some room to grow. There are things he can do better. But if you're scoring 30 goals a season, you don't have that on your roster. You're going to be looking for it.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me is there's still some players mature slower than others when it comes to being a pro.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to rounding out your game. It's just like your own kids at home. Some of your kids mature quickly, and some of them it takes them a little bit longer to figure things out.
Right.
That's the way I look at Jordan Kyrou. To me, he's always been a very, very physically able and gifted player. So he's probably never really been held accountable by any of his coaches, coming all the way up until he hit pro hockey.
Yeah.
And now the maturation process is a little slower than anybody would like it to be. But I'm not sitting here going to give up on the player. If Doug Armstrong could find a trade that made sense, where you could get back a point a game, 30-goal scorer, almost 40 the year before, and have a more well-rounded player, then I think he would do it. But if not, then you just have to continue the process of developing this player. Is there room to grow for him? 100%. I'm not sitting here telling you he's a perfect player. He's not. You can watch every shift of every game, and find out where his deficiencies are. But that's part of the coaching staff's job now, is to get him to keep working on that stuff.
Is now the best time for the Blues to hold on to a guy like that because they're in this rebuild, retool? They're not really a playoff contender. I mean, they could make the playoffs. They almost did last year, but like they're not a Stanley Cup contender. Is now the best time to hold on to somebody like that? And let's say they were a Stanley Cup contender, and he was a guy that was essentially hurting you defensively. And we know that in order to win a Stanley Cup, you have to have great defense. Is that why fans are a little frustrated with him because they think this team should be better than what it actually is?
But is that his fault?
No, I'm not saying it is his fault, but what I'm asking is...
I think a lot of people's frustration, they try to find one person to blame.
For sure.
And Jordan Kyrou is easy to blame. He doesn't have the greatest body language at times. Sometimes there's the back checking isn't there, but this goes back to what I said. It's still a maturing hockey player. And if he doesn't ever get to expectations, and guess what? Army will move on at some point. I just don't think that point is now.
Right.
You're doing this retool, and you have a player that can be very electric offensively. On many nights, we've watched him do some things go, okay, it's pretty impressive. And you got that kind of a player, if he can fit within your group while you're turning this thing around to become a contender, that's a good thing. Ultimately, I think Jordan Kyrou is a second-line right winger on a winning team.
Does Jordan Kyrou, does his maturation process, is it sped up if the Blues keep guys like David Perron, Ryan O'Reilly, some of those players?
I mean, maybe not. Sometimes those players can get frustrated too, and then it's actually counterproductive to where they find a reason just to pick on him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that about Perron and O'Reilly specifically. I've just seen it in my years,
for sure,
to where the older players are there. They take you under their wing, but then when they feel like there's no progress being made, and maybe it's starting to get a little bit going the other way, then they can also get ticked off and start to nip at your heels a little bit.
I do think fans might find it just irritating because you see a guy like Jake Neighbors who has, in my opinion, matured very quickly. He's found what works for him at the NHL level. And I think they see him and they try and compare Jordan Kyrou to him in terms of their progression of maturing as a hockey player. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit. But let's go back and look at Robert Thomas, for that matter. Everybody, for the most part, everybody loves Robert Thomas right now. Go back a year ago. Go back 2 years ago. Watch the body language. Watch the inability to play a 200-foot game consistently. Like, there was a lot of things that, weren't what they are now. And I'm not saying Kyrou becomes Robert Thomas. I think the hockey IQ for Robert Thomas is elite. I think the offensive ability and the speed for Jordan Kyrou is elite. They both have things that make them elite. I just think that right now, especially when you're going through this process, you have to see completely what you have. 26 years old, somebody on the text line said, well, that's not young. He's entering his prime. Okay, so let's see what he does then.
Right.
I don't think that's a prime personally, but if we want to label it that, let's see what he does this year.
Yeah.
I think the power play is going to be improved this season, which will mean more points for Thomas, Kyrou, Buchnevich, all the parties involved, and the coaching staff's going to have to go to work right away. And Claude Julien, new face at the table, very smart guy as far as developing players, very smart guy in getting players to buy into the defensive side of the game. Coached one of the best defensive players in the history of the game, and Patrice Bergeron, as a forward, that is, because he had Chara and those guys too, but I'm talking about the forward position alone. All of these things will hopefully help Jordan Kyrou move in the right direction as far as an all-around game is concerned. And if not, Alex Steen and Doug Armstrong will have very honest conversations, and they'll look to improve the team at the expense of whoever.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are.
That's Jamie Rivers. Speaking of Jamie, you had sent us something to the group text after one of the athletes who signed recently with a team. A little bit of a surprise move. Had made some comments, and Jamie was wondering, is it more than just business for some athletes? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We need a new Beat the Street contestant, so if you want to text in BTS to 314-399-9646, that's your Comfort Service text line. You can find it right now.
On 101.
On 101 ESPN. That's right. Coverage of everything, sports related and otherwise, here in the Fast Lane. Jamie, you had sent out a clip, an audio clip from a player, a veteran player who spent a long time with an organization and signed with a new organization over the last 48 hours. You had sent us an audio clip because you wanted to talk about what that athlete said and kind of the business angle of sports.
Yeah, so everybody always talks about, it's a business. It's just hockey's a business, pro sport's a business, and the GMs talk about it, and players always say, well, it was a business decision.
Yeah.
Steven Stamkos spent his entire career with the Tampa Bay Lightning, was the captain, Stanley Cup champion.
Had an okay career there.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable career. And they couldn't come to terms, Stamkos and the Lightning. So Stamkos signed with the Predators, as we know now. Well, he was interviewed, it was yesterday, I believe, regarding the situation. And then, Marcia, do we have the audio? Here's what Steven Stamkos said about the process.
When I didn't get approached to sign an extension last summer, that caught me by surprise, and it was something that I expressed at training camp. And certainly that was probably the start of it, the start of the writing on the wall. I didn't quite understand why, but, I didn't ask too many questions, just went about and played hard and didn't let that affect me. And, after the season, I knew both sides were going to want to try to get something done and do something that was mutually beneficial for both sides. It just felt like, I was the one that was making a lot of the concessions, and that certainly came into play. But again, when you get into these things, like I said, you have hope until the last minute, and then when you don't hear anything or nothing changes, then you have to be able to adapt and just make a decision. That's the toughest part is trying to hang on to something that maybe it isn't trying to hang on to you, and that was the tough part for sure. But like I said, the memories I've had in Tampa will trump whatever, ill will or feelings I've had throughout this process, because those are temporary, those are emotional decisions. And, as time passes, those usually go away. It's remembering the amazing times, growing up in that city as an 18-year-old kid to where I am now.
Hanging on to something that doesn't want to hang on to you. That doesn't sound like business. That sounds honestly like a relationship. Seriously, so it got me thinking, these players are really affected by it. And now I was one thing. I got traded and waived, and I bounced around. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. I was crushed when I first got traded from the Blues to the Islanders because I thought I'd be a Blue forever. Didn't happen, but not the same. So listening to Steven Stamkos talk about this, it's a very sobering moment, because you go back and you think of David Backes when he was here.
Yeah.
When Army just basically said, no, we're good. And then David Perron, pick your time. And then Alex Pietrangelo. People wonder, how did it get so personal with Pietrangelo and the Blues or whatever? Or we heard it got personal. Yeah, it did. And I'm not blaming the teams. I'm not.
Yeah.
Because truly for them, it's a business.
Correct.
For the player, there's an emotional attachment, which is weird, because the athlete having more of an attachment than the team to the athlete.
Yeah.
So that audio just got me thinking about it, just, how hard it can be for these guys in those times. And it's an emotional roller coaster, because Stamkos gets, not released. They don't come to a contract agreement. The Lightning let him walk, and then, hours later, he's a Predator now. So, I don't know, it's kind of a peek behind the curtain with what he said.
Sure. It's tough. You'd like to have the John Elway moment where you win a Super Bowl and that's it. You can walk off and you'd spend your entire career in Denver. Or even with Yadi. Yadi didn't, they didn't win the World Series, but Yadi was able to walk away having spent his entire time all in one location. Klay Thompson, we just saw him go from Golden State to Dallas.
Yep.
And the Warriors they both kind of came to a mutual agreement, like, hey, this is it. You're not going to make as much money here. You may not make it. You may not get the amount of minutes. He signs with Dallas. Dallas is a better team right now than Golden State. It kind of worked out really well, but he is now leaving Golden State, the one organization he knew, to go to Dallas. So you're right, it is tough. It is personal.
I think it's tougher when you are a face or one of the faces of a franchise. Like, if you're a guy like myself, like how you are, like, we're good players, but
damn good.
Damn good, as Anthony would say. But I wasn't, Willie Parker or Jerome Bettis, and so when you're the face of a franchise, and then you don't get that contract to stay, I think it's a little bit harder to digest. When you've played, Stamkos played there for 16 seasons. When you've been there your entire life, you got kids. They all probably grew up in they've gone through high school, grade school, all of those things, and then it's a transition to somewhere else. I think that's the hardest part. And to realize, like you said, it's like a relationship. This team doesn't love me anymore. They don't love me like they used to. As much as I've given to them, blood, sweat, tears, literally given everything I have, in terms of my body, how I feel going through it, and then they don't return that love when it's time. That's a hard thing to deal with as a player. But it's a realization that every single player at some point will go through, whether it's whether you're a Hall of Famer, at some point you're going to be done. That team is not going to want to re-sign you, or you're a guy that plays 5, 6, 7 years and play on 4 or 5 different teams. That's the reality of it. At some point, a team is going to want to move on from you.
And I think the part that probably hurts Stamkos too is they literally turn around and give the exact same contract that what Stamkos signed with the Predators. They give that exact same contract to Victor Hedman.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then
not that he didn't deserve it.
No, he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And then Julien Brisebois, who is their general manager, comes out and says, look, we just didn't feel that the contract ask from Steven kept us in a competitive window to keep winning. Yet you
did that, yeah. Yet you felt competitive with giving all that money to Victor Hedman.
Yeah, and look, realize we're talking about millions of dollars, and these guys are well off, and they're going to be set for life, and their kids will be set for life.
Right.
And so a lot of people are callous to that. Well, they're making millions. It's fine.
They're still human beings.
They're still human beings,
Yeah.
and there's still an emotional attachment to a team or a company that you work for so friggin' long. Doesn't matter how much money you make. When that company basically turns its back on you and says, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's really difficult.
All right, it's Fast on 101 ESPN. We got Beat the Streak. Biggest question of the day next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues announced today that Pavel Buchnevich has been extended 6-year contract extension worth $48 million, an average annual value of $8 million. The Blues also traded for Radek Faksa from Dallas and Mathieu from Ottawa. The Blues receive Ottawa's 2025 third-round pick, and both deals include future considerations. We've talked about this all day long. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Brad Thompson, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Speaking of BT, we talked some Cardinals baseball today. The Cards will take on the Pirates. Kyle Gibson on the mound going up against Mitch Keller. First pitch is roughly under 10 minutes away, 5:40 first pitch. And then after today's show, we have the blue and white prospect scrimmage at 6 o'clock. So tune in to that with Alex Ferrario and Joey Vitale. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. And we have Oz calling all the way up from Florida, or all the way down in Florida, I should say. What's up, Oz?
How we doing?
Good, man. We appreciate you listening in Florida. What part of Florida?
Jacksonville.
Okay. Good stuff there. You a Jaguars fan?
No.
No, okay. Because they're going to move to London?
I'm Carey's fan.
There you go.
There you go. All right, sounds good. All right.
All right, Mizzou.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Not quite.
All right, so Marsh, what are the latest standings and/or streaks?
Okay, so Anthony and Jamie have a streak of 0.
Oh, wow.
Carey and I have a streak of 1. And then obviously Pete did not get a hit thanks to Nolan Gorman. It's been a trend lately. So Oz is with us today and Beat the Streak.
Okay, right. Sounds good. So, what's the order?
Carey, you have honors.
Ah, you're such a nice guy. Thank you. I'm going to go Brian Reynolds.
Damn it!
Yep. He had a hit in every game except for the last one in the month of June. 25-game hitting streak ended, so he's going to start again in July.
Sounds good.
So I'm going with.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's been a day of Andrews. Andrew won the Gauntlet today against Andrew. And I think Andrew McCutcheon is going to get a base hit tonight.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Catch. All right, who's next, Marsh?
Either you, Jamie, or Oz.
Go ahead, Jamie. Actually, hold on. Let's go Oz.
Go Oz.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oz, go for it.
Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn. All right, Jamie.
Alec Burleson.
Burleson for Jamie, and I'm going to go with Donnie. Brendan Donovan, please. All right, Oz, good luck to you, man. You win.
All right, thanks, guys.
You'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
All right, sounds good. There you have it. Now we have the Cardinals game coming up here in about 6 minutes, so we're going to decide to do Beat the Streak. I'm sorry, bet the board right now. So bet the board right now. And I did not get a dub last night.
Nor did I.
Nor did Carey. How'd you do, Marsh?
The Connecticut Sun won.
Oh, that's right. They
My
covered.
son won.
Your son won.
And
so
Austin Gomber
failed to
get the strikeouts.
Yeah.
So.
He shoved, though. Got 6 innings.
He did, Carey.
Shouldn't have. 5 1/3 would have been, I think, sufficient.
Okay. So, Jamie, Marsh, me, Carey. Jamie, go ahead.
Going back to the strikeouts, tonight's game, Pirates, Cardinals, Keller on the bump. The over-under's at 5.5 strikeouts. I'm going with the under.
Okay. Going back to the old strikeout well. Yep. I like it. Marsh?
I'm going to go with Kelsey Plum to hit 3 3-pointers, over 2.5 3-pointers tonight in the W as they take on the Indiana Fever.
We got to make a rule or something.
Oh, we got to make a rule. How about the rule of we move up, bet the board so you can get a Cardinals pick in? How about that rule?
You still got your WNBA pick in.
I know, I'm just saying.
What the hell are you complaining about?
I'm just saying, we're tinkering rules now.
We are. We're tinkering.
What about when Anthony wanted to get his Nationals pick in yesterday? We didn't move up the bet
That's
the board.
true.
We did too late for that.
But it was too late. Had he said something, I would have gladly done it.
That's also fair. That's also
no problem with that. I'm not going to screw guys over because of pitch in a different time zone.
That seems to be a trend on this show. I'm down in the standings. Let me change the damn rules.
Well,
Anthony,
down in the
Carey,
standings.
now Jamie.
What? I'm not down.
Hey, we didn't do it that day. Remember? Because you threw such a fit.
I did throw a fit.
We did try.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried.
But I
tried to make it a Saturday, Sunday.
We did, yeah.
In my defense, I said that we could do that.
Yeah.
We never did.
But it's what you said.
But I said, Anthony.
It's how you said it.
It's how you said it, though.
Yeah, it's how you said it.
You know how to read that, you know? Like, the way you said it, we're like, you don't mean that. I'm going to take the Orioles minus 118 in Seattle. Again, is that what you wanted?
Yeah, well, look at it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Grayson Rodriguez on the hill.
Maybe he doesn't pick it if we wait.
Possibly.
I'll be honest, I was still going to pick that. But, so Carey now scrambling.
Yeah, I am. I can't go them because they stink. All right, you know what? No. Give me the Yankees over the Yankees Reds over 8.5.
Okay, I was about to say you're not going back to the Yankee are you?
I should, but I won't. Just hit a bunch of home runs. Give me over 8.5.
There you go.
Are you like an undercover Yankees fan? I'm starting to wonder.
Every day it's a Yankees. It was the Golden State Warriors all during basketball.
I'm sorry, I like champions. I apologize. I like
teams.
champions. I like champions. That's why I get on the Cardinals, because they aren't playing championship baseball.
And you want them to be.
And I want them to play championship baseball. I like champions. I'm a Steelers fan, Jamie. You know that.
You like to get on champions, huh?
I like to win championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't like winning?
I love winning.
Oh, okay. Well,
go ahead, Marsh. Just fire it. It could go a while.
Time for the Fast Lane's biggest question
Jamie
of the day.
Didn't say anything.
You said a lot.
All right, gentlemen. We know the Cardinals offense. They love scoring maybe one, maybe two, hell, maybe we'll even get 3 tonight. Runs. Yeah. They like playing close games. We know last year that the bullpen, because the bullpen has been a topic of discussion as of recent, the bullpen was, they weren't great. And we could probably attribute that to the starters last year, not giving you enough length. Do you think that if the bullpen were to falter down the stretch, that it would be because of the offense not scoring enough runs to give them some cushion to where the high leverage arms can get some days off?
Yes. Yeah, I would. I mean, if you're in a situation where you're constantly in tight games because your offense every single night, it's hard to blame Ollie for trying to win the game. And by that he's going with his high leverage guys. He's going to go with those guys. If he didn't, and he put somebody in there that probably shouldn't be in a high leverage, and that pitcher doesn't do well, we're yelling at Ollie. So I don't blame him for going with his studs to close out games in order to win. If the offense produces a little bit more and you're in some laughers every once in a while, then yeah, I think the bullpen would be saved.
That and maybe letting your pitchers go, a few more pitches.
I mean, you could.
Your starters?
I've been fine with the way that he's handled the starters. I know there's been a couple of times where people have been upset, but
I'm not bothered by it either. But I think you combine those two things. No, I'm not.
You yelled for 12 more pitches for an entire hour the other day.
I did. I did want 12 in that situation. Yeah. But most instances, I think he's doing a really good job. But if a guy can go, what the hell are we taking him out for? Because of what we just talked about.
So that he can still go a month from now.
Well, you let me know how you are, what's going on in a month. You might not even have to. You might not even have a need.
You may not have a need because you may not have a pitcher because his arm is screwed up.
If 12 more damn pitches makes your arm fall
12 times 10.
I didn't say 12 more every game.
You said you wanted 12 more. To give me 12. And I said, Carey, that's an awful lot. I said, let's pare that down a little bit.
Slow down.
You want to make sure you take care of the pitcher.
All right. Not every game. You can give me 12 more pitches every now and then. I'm good.
It's fine every now and then?
Every now and then.
All right.
Yeah. Hell, give me 15 if you got it.
Why? You know he's waiting for it. Why set it on the tee?
Pitches in an inning in a game. You're not tired. You threw 74 pitches. Yeah. 85, 88.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of pitches that will go out of the ballpark, we're going to once again square off against the Rizzuto Show from 105.7 The Point.
Great segue.
At this year's Softball Home Run Derby. Hosted by the O'Fallon Hoots on Saturday, July 27th at Carshield Field in O'Fallon Mo. There will be a fast pitch home run derby that night, and it'll feature Rick Ankiel, Brian Jordan, several other MLB alum. General admission tickets are now on sale for just $15. It's all brought to you by Swiss Air Heating and Cooling, Faster House, and Zwickau Light. Get all the details on this year's O'Fallon Hoots Home Run Derby now at 101ESPN.com. As I was coming into the building today, I saw our guy Rafe, who was carrying his backpack, his lunch bag, and what looked to be a brand new bat.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's ready. I need to get to the...
I said, where are you going, Rafe? Gotta get some swings in. So, okay, all right.
Okay.
So last year I was a little sore, and I'm gonna go get some swings in.
Clearly, the exploder did not help.
No. Well, he timed that wrong, though. Remember?
Oh,
he timed it wrong on the exploder.
I wasn't there, so.
Well, that's what he says.
Wow.
His exploder was off.
That's what he said.
Jamie, your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Do you think you could hit? You mentioned the fast pitch. Do you think you could hit a home run, with not softball, of course, but like home run at Carshield Field? If we were doing a normal home run derby.
Well, I think eventually I'd run into one.
Man, it's
off Rick Ankiel.
No, not off of Rick Ankiel.
Why not?
Well, no, you want
just somebody just throwing you batting practice?
No, it's like home run derby.
I think I could probably run into one.
For me, I think
ain't putting on a show.
The right
but
field is pretty close.
We'll get that huge wall, though.
Yeah, but
you get it up there.
I can get it up there, Carey. Don't you worry.
Jamie can get it up. I've seen it.
Yeah. It's been 2 or 3 years in a row. It's been a
derby. Okay. Carey, this is going to be your first time.
Yeah, it'll be my first time.
I've seen
your first time.
Yeah. Jamie hit plenty of home runs.
Yeah.
Marsh, your thoughts?
I got it up 2 years ago. Last year was a little difficult just because I wasn't participating.
Yeah, you weren't there.
So hopefully I can this year. Maybe I can get it up a few times.
Oh, I think you can. You're young, so
yeah,
you're going to be just fine in that regard.
You'll have no problem getting it up over that wall.
Yep. Cool. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got 3 stars of the day. We got criticisms and compliments, and who knows what else here in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. Brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We already did bet the board because Jamie needed to get his pick in for the Cardinals.
He did.
I said if there
made an adjustment.
I said if not, I can pick another game.
What did you pick?
Strikeouts.
For
Keller. He's already got one. Damn it.
You went over?
You went under.
Yeah. I said he's already got one. It's in the first inning, Anthony.
No, I was thinking through. I'm like, so you have the under. I know I said
it's 5.5.
The under.
I took the under.
Not bad. Jeez.
I'm just upset.
Don't tick off Jamie because you never know what he's going to say. Hurt just
well, you don't have
everybody's
to tick
feelings.
him off to never know what he's going to say.
Great point, Carey.
Let's be fair.
Carey, you've made many a great point on these airwaves. None better than that one.
Never really know. Like, I see the wheel spinning sometimes. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, like, what is it?
Yep. And I'm like, no. You're like, yeah. This time, man, I got it.
Yeah.
Some say it's a form of brilliance. Just say.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Some.
Once he gets going, it's like Chris Farley rolling down a hill.
What in the hell was that all about? All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yes, Grant Francis Fan Club says the best GM in the old Central show. That would be Jamie Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wheeling and dealing.
So Jamie, earlier in the show, talked about how he traded a player at one point for a night at a hotel he
Future
really liked.
considerations.
Yeah, which
casino.
wound up being a hotel and casino that he really liked. So, well done, Jamie.
That was a good deal, personally.
The 424 says Mo is not Nickelback, but he is disco.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Interesting.
People still listen to disco?
Well, I'm sure somebody does,
Had
right?
the Bee Gees rolling at the lake this weekend.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, not just them.
But you did have
Did you go
them.
Staying Alive?
There's a couple of them. Staying Alive and More Than a Woman. More than a woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Come on, Carey.
I don't know
More
that
than a woman to me.
I don't know.
I thought you'd be all over that.
I know they're staying alive.
Staying alive.
Yeah, know that one. I don't know. More Than a Woman.
You should. It's on the movie.
Okay.
Saturday Night Fever. Not to be confused with any other movie.
Nope.
Nah.
Nope. That Jamie has watched.
I borrowed it from you.
Thanks for rewinding it.
Yes. Be kind, rewind.
Earlier today, we were talking about the United States under-20 football team and how bad they are, losing to Japan and Austria.
It's terrible.
From the 314, they must have sent Bishop Sycamore.
Actually, that team would probably won.
Oh, man.
Oh, geez.
Wasn't there an actual documentary that was done on that?
I've seen it. It's very good.
Is it?
But like the coach,
he's terrible.
Just a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Piece of crap. And not crap like St. Louis Blues crap.
No. An actual piece of crap.
Like a piece of feces.
Yes.
On your porch.
I need to watch it.
Absolutely.
Burning in a bag.
Oh.
I got you now. Yeah.
All right.
That was a lot.
The Waterboy says Marsh's poll tomorrow. Should you change the rules to make your coworkers happy? It's a great poll.
It's interesting, that's for sure.
Are we talking about Marsh's poll again?
Yeah. Changing it to make your coworkers happy. Changing rules to make your coworkers happy.
I know. Listen to that crap. Okay? Done with this.
We're done with this conversation.
The 636 says that new bat, we're talking about the Fastlane versus Rizzuto Show softball home run derby at Carshield Field. The new bat has nothing on the Fastlane corked bat. Talking about Rafe's bat that he was
we didn't use a corked bat.
showing around all day.
First of all, it's a little difficult to cork a aluminum bat.
That's weird.
The other thing is, and we had mentioned it, and of course the Rizzuto Show didn't want to talk about it, is we all used the same bat that year.
Yeah.
It was the year that Marsh was there.
Yeah.
And by the time I got it, the thing was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, like both teams, use the same bat.
Everybody got a turn with the bat.
Everybody got a turn.
Dead as Jamie in Croatia.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't talk about that. I don't talk about that. No. We got to hear them complain about, we used a cheater bat that they also used. So last year we showed up, and what did we do, Jamie? We said, we'll use your bat. Whatever. We don't care what bat. Just hand us one. And then we handed out a beating.
Yeah, we did.
So there you go.
Like it.
Let's see here. We got a text from Justin. Great show again. Killed it again, guys.
Thank you.
Guys killed it again.
Thank you,
Justin.
Very much.
Very much.
So, much appreciated.
We appreciate you. Yes.
Let's get to our 3 stars of the day. We just mentioned them, but our 3rd star of the day goes out to what I think is an underappreciated band, Nickelback.
Yes. They're good. All right.
Real good.
Need to.
Yeah, people don't like them. But then they jam to them on the way home. Just a fact.
Actually, before we get to our 2nd star, we have one more criticism and compliment. This is a compliment from the 217. Great show, guys. Thanks for making me laugh and look like an idiot, and everyone's staring at me.
Oh, well, yeah, you're welcome.
best.
That's no problem at all.
Yeah.
It's our favorite part.
Yeah.
My favorite thing would be one day 2 people are in their cars laughing, and then they actually talk to each other and realize that they're both laughing the same
You
thing.
listening?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
All right, back to our 2nd star of the day. It goes out to Pavel Buchnevich for signing an extension today.
Yeah, Booch. Congratulations to you. You sicko. Way to go.
And our 1st star of the day is near and dear to Jamie's heart, and that is defensive metrics.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's
Those
always
numbers.
bragging about them.
Yep.
Brings them up all the time.
favorite
Boy,
thing.
all the
So
time,
cute.
doesn't he?
Yep.
The
He's-
OOA.
It's important.
Yeah, right.
The OOA.
Important part of the game, guys.
It certainly is. And we appreciate that you're always bringing those statistics to our attention, Jamie.
I'm a stats guy, clearly.
Do a great job.
There's no question about it. Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. Hey, tonight we got a special broadcast for you. It's going to be the blue and white prospect scrimmage, and it starts right after us here on 101 ESPN. Alex Ferrario and Joey Vitale will be down at Centene to broadcast the scrimmage. Our guy, Donnie Van Tango, will also be between the benches as well, giving some insight there. So, yeah. So stay locked in here to 101 ESPN. The blue and white scrimmage is coming at you from 6 o'clock until the game's over with. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff here on 101 ESPN. Again, we appreciate you tuned in throughout the course of the show. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Tomorrow we'll be back at 2 o'clock live from Centene. See ya.